Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday night, guys. December 7th, 2023, and you're here with me. Guys, tonight, first of all, welcome to all of you. Second of all, we're looking into Delphi and to seeing what's going on now, and we're going to take a look at some documents we talked about and maybe a couple other little things here, but we're definitely getting in Delphi, guys. So thank you for joining me. Let's get this show on the road and get this thing going. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, 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 all you beautiful people. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Missed you guys. Love seeing you guys here this evening. I hope everybody can be here tonight. Guys, please, if you haven't yet, share this out to whoever you think would want to be here with us tonight. Again, guys, we're looking at what is going on with Mr. Richard Allen this evening. Again, now in the Delphi case, what the new deal is. And we're going to check out a document or so, or look into some stuff that we talked about. So come on in and grab a seat. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you all, wherever you are. I hope it's good for you guys because it's good for me to be here with you guys. I am super excited to see you all again. And I really appreciate you all for joining us tonight. My apologies to anybody that was expecting a daytime. Like I said, guys, I'm going back to 5 days. If I could stop my face from itching. I'm going back to 5 days, folks. And one way or another, I will be here with you every day of the week, morning, noon, night, whatever I got to do, I got to do. I had some things to handle this afternoon. And so that's why we're here now. So I wasn't going to go without being here. So let's see who we got with us real quick while we're waiting on everybody to jump on in here. Looks like CL is in the house. Welcome back, CL. Miss Brandy B, good to see you, dear. Sleuthie Goosey, welcome back. My favorite. Okay, let's back this up and try this again. My favorite Goosey. What I was trying to say, sorry. I don't know what the hell. My lips got stuck or something. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Sleuthie, we appreciate you very much. Doodlebug's in the house. Good to see you. Miss Sherry Wisdom Speaks in the house. Welcome back. Thank you, Sleuthy. I will be looking for that. Salty Sleuth is in the house too. Welcome back to all of you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. Virginia Wolf, welcome to you. Rowena Moses, welcome back as well. Hope Flokes, welcome, Val. Good to see you. D. Smith, it's been a minute. Great to have you here. Great to see you. Evie Marie, same to you. Let me see here. Let me see. Jay Lit, welcome back to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Brainy B, the OG's in the house. Always happy to see you. Let me see. Who am I missing here? Doodlebug in the house. What's going on, Doodle? I think I already said. If I'm double yelling out your name twice, guys, don't mind me. Mikey, what's going on, brother? Good to have you here. Good to see you. Come on in, guys. Grab a chair, grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Come on and sit down. Have a conversation with me, if you will. I know I'm a cornball. It's all good. Yes, Lizzie, I have no idea what I was saying there. My lips got tied in a knot. My tongue got stuck to my face. I don't know what the hell that was, but sorry about that. Rach, welcome to you. Party at 5. Welcome back. Great to see you. Charisma in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Grab your seat. You might want to grab a blanket. It's cold over here tonight, folks. Damn, it's cold. It has been cold. It was supposed to be warm today, and I'm telling you right now, we went outside to do a little bit more of our exterior decorating. And nope, my body is either getting older or I'm just not ready for this shit yet because it was freezing out there. Yep, it's cold. Come on, I don't know how many other people are freezing this time of year over there, but or wherever you are, it's a cold one for sure. Winter is here. Well, I thank you, D. Smith. If my camera would focus, you could see it better, but thank you. I appreciate that. I have heard that, Salty. It's cold down in Florida. I heard you guys were supposed to be getting, well, my mother-in-law told me this, and she thinks she knows the weather, but she's always wrong. Supposedly, the southern states are going to be getting what we're supposed to be getting up here, and we're going to be getting, kind of mild weather for this time of year soon. So I don't care. Rowena Moses, thank you for joining us. It is cold today. That's a fact. I don't like winter either. I don't mind. I don't know. I didn't used to mind it at all. It's just getting, maybe it's me getting older. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat, guys, if you will, please. Let's keep it even, folks. As you're coming through that door, leave some DNA on that like button for me. Please, please, please. These shows, I really like to get these out in the algorithm so everybody can see this stuff, guys. And YouTube, they're a bit greedy. They want you to have at least 100 likes to get it floating out there. So let's do that, folks. As many people as we can get in here, please hit that like button, if you will. If you don't like it afterwards, take it back at the end. That's all I can say. Take it back at the end. And it doesn't cost a cent, folks. Just hit that little thumbs up and you're all set, ready to go. Jaylit, good to see you. By the way, Miss Sherry, I hope you're doing okay. Got my fingers crossed and my prayers up for you, dear. Woke up in 1984. I wish I could. How are you? How are you? How are you? Come on in, meatballs. Go grab a spot. Jump on in the sauce as we spill some of that tonight. I appreciate you guys so very much. It was in the 60s today. Montana. I need my glasses. Sorry. Yeah, that is, especially in December. That's like the winter capital of the world. That's where one of my aunts lives. It's always cold there. She said it starts getting cold there like the middle of September or so. They start getting that car rapid weather. Great to see you, Rach. Thank you for being here. Come on, guys. 50 people, 25 likes. That's cut in half. Let's make it match. Hit that like button, folks. Please, please, please. Come on in, everyone. Have a seat. Yeah, I was kind of shocked when I saw that this morning that Mr. Richard Allen had been moved or is being moved. I'm not sure if it's completed yet, but I was pretty interested. Virginia Wolf, good to see you. Absolutely, my friend. You'll probably be seeing more of these nighttime streams. Sleuthy, are you sending through my email or are you sending another way? If you can send it email, that's probably the easiest. But if not, whatever works for you. I am grateful. He was already moved. Okay. See, I wasn't positive yet. I just read the one order for it, and I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I don't know. I've read something about. Oh, I said the Twitter. Okay. Here, I'll give that to you too, real quick. It's just easier for me to pull up from email, but that's okay. Whatever's easiest for you, hon. In the future, if you have it, email's the best, easiest, I should say. But I can load up Twitter. I don't use Twitter on my computer. That's pretty much why I don't do too much with it, but I probably should. Thank you, Rach. That's right. Loves to get them likes hit. Just leave a little bit of DNA there, guys, on that like button for me. That way I can find you when I need to. Come on in. Come on in. 48 people in here now. 27 likes. Let's get it out there, guys. Thank you, Sleuth. I appreciate that very, very much. Oh, it's been a minute since you've been in here, huh? 84? I thought so. I appreciate you all, every one of you guys, for jumping in here tonight. I know it might be inconvenient for some people, and my apologies for that. But like I said, I had a lot of stuff I had to handle today, and I still wanted to make sure I was here. So 5 days is 5 days at the least. I may be running 6, guys. We don't know. We don't know yet. Come on in, though, if you will, please. Find a seat. Yes. That is a fact, Sleuthy. You're a celebrity in here, that's for sure. Very much respected, and very much appreciated. I can't speak for shit tonight. It could be because I've had too much coffee today. I'm on. Let me see. I woke up this morning and had 4 cups. Oh, okay. That's everybody's gonna want to know about it. So thank you for that very much. I had heard something earlier about that too, so that's perfect. Sooner Girls in the house. What's going on? Good to see you tonight. Thank you for being here. Carolyn Miller, you as well. Yes, like I said, you're a celebrity in here, Sleuth. Everybody loves seeing you here, so it's more than appreciated. And you guys are very, very helpful. You and Salty both with info on this. It makes my life a little bit easier. I can promise you that much. It really does. I really appreciate everything you guys do to help me with this. And please know, everybody in here, that they do. Sleuthy helps me a lot with this, and Salty does so very much. And it's always good. I've always said, guys, when we can all work together instead of against each other. I think it's an awesome thing, and it's for a great reason, guys. I mean, this stuff needs to be put out there in a bad way. Like I said, a very bad way. There's crazy things going on with this case, and everybody needs to hear about it. So here we are. I think I'm way closer to this than I'm supposed to be. Where is my little thing at? Hold on, everybody. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's way back in there. That's why. Let's see if this changes things up a little bit. Nope. It's already out there. Okay. Nope, that's not working. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Come on in. Come on in. That's right. Thank you, Salt. Golf inspector's in the house. What's going on? Well, I was gonna pull some of that up tonight if we had the time, since you had sent me that copy. So if you're here, I mean, I don't want you to hang here if you got stuff going on, and if you gotta go, you gotta go. I absolutely understand and appreciate that. So whatever you need to do, I will work around you. That's a fact. Yeah, the Frank's motion is going to give, it's going to bring some reaction. I can guarantee that from people. That's fact. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Golf Inspector. It's great to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Share this out, guys. A lot of people don't know I didn't have this preset. So, right, Salty. I was reading it myself and I was just like, that's okay. That's okay. You let me know when you're ready to be out, then you be out. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. I respect that and appreciate you just being here, period. So, yeah, we're going to talk. We can actually do quite a bit of that, actually, because we're going to talk about him being moved, obviously, and then we're going to get into I was going to get right into the Frank's motion, talk about that, show that to everybody. It sounds really good, Carolyn. One of my favorite meals, actually. We had ham and bean soup. Oh, all right. Come on in. Like I said, guys, share this out to anybody you think would be interested, because I didn't advertise I was doing this tonight. So a lot of people aren't expecting it. Hey, AR, thanks for jumping through. Let me see what's in the mail here. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for that, Sleuthie. Always happy. That stuff. Let me see here. Bingo. All right. Neil Homestead's in the house. Welcome back. Good to see you. Grateful to see you guys in here. Wonderful to have you. 62 peeps in the house. And we got 36 likes. Well, let's get that up there, folks. Please, please, if you will, just hit that like button. It's free and it only takes a second. Please, please, please. I would greatly appreciate that. All right. All right, all right, all right. No, I agree. I agree for sure, AR. Yeah, 41. That's right. That is right. Cassie's in the house. What's going on, Cass? Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being here tonight. I do appreciate you guys. Once the word gets out, I'm sure we'll get more peeps in here. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. Like I said, it's not my typical time slot, but I wasn't going out without coming in here today. So Cassie, stop. That's okay, Cass. I appreciate you being here either way. Very much so, for sure. All right, guys. I'm going to start this off. We'll go back and explain if anybody else comes in, just to give you the breaking news on this scenario, and then we'll move into documents according to and for so and forward. And again, excuse me, guys. I'm a little bit giddy. I got ADHD, and I've drank the equivalent of probably about 4 pots of coffee today because I was outside freezing. So that's, I think, why I'm not able to talk right. I am wound for sound, folks. So you got me wide awake, that's for sure. All right, here we go. Let me know if you guys have any kind of audio issues or anything, and I will do my best to make it work better. And we're off.
Breaking news in the Delphi case. The state has moved murder suspect Richard Allen to a different prison. New court filings show that he was transferred yesterday to the Wabash Valley Correctional Facility near Terre Haute. The judge has ordered Allen be held in the state prison system instead of the Carroll County Jail for his own safety. Allen is accused of killing Libby German and Abby Williams in Delphi nearly 7 years ago. Allen has been at the Westfield prison. His previous defense team requested several times that he be moved. They laid out a number of reasons, including showing pictures they say illustrate his deteriorating health. They also raised questions about his treatment by guards and the privacy of meetings with attorneys. The state has not detailed yet who made the decision to move Allen or the exact reasons why.
There it is. Breaking news. So what I want to know is, did he go from bad to worse? Did he go from bad to better? None of this is right. He should not even be in a prison. We all know that. But, you know, I guess, did they do this because of all the rigmarole and all the chaos that's been raised over the fact that he was sitting in prison and that he was being abused, per se, that, you know, that was being talked about in that sense? Is that why he was moved? You know, I read an article about them building new prisons in Indiana and stuff like that, better prisons. That they did provide a little more info than what that lady said. Yeah, they did, definitely. There's more. No worries. That was really a short one too. It was kind of interesting. I know. 1 second here. 1 second, guys. Okay. You know what? Somebody else said that to me too, Sleuth, that well, Sleuthy says, I'm concerned he was attacked in some way. The code used in the order applied to inmates in imminent danger. Right. And that's the thing. 2 hours and 45 minutes from Delphi makes it more difficult for family to visit. That's true. That is true. Let me see something here. I don't know if this one's any better, but I got a couple of these that I always grab 1 or 2 of these when I get them when we have to deal with this. I just like to give everybody what the news.
Details on a story we first brought you as breaking news this morning. Delphi double murder suspect Richard Allen is moving again.
The man accused of killing Abby Williams and Libby German in 2017 has been ordered transferred to his 4th jail or prison cell in the last 13 months while he awaits trial. Fox 59's Russ McQuaid has followed this case from the very beginning. He joins us now in studio with the next step. Hey, Russ.
And good afternoon. Richard Allen's criminal trial journey has been marked with controversy, competing legal battles, uncertainty, and inexplicable orders. This transfer order is only the latest twist in this tragic case. There have been a handful of times Richard Allen has been seen in public, always entering or leaving the Carroll County Courthouse, as he stands accused of the murders of teenagers Libby German and Abby Williams. on the bank of Deer Creek below the Monon High Bridge outside of Delphi in February of 2017. Before they were separated from the case, defense attorneys Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rosie argued that Allen should be removed from the Westville Correctional Facility, where the state says he's being held for his own protection. Since his arrest in October of 2022, Allen has sat behind bars in Carroll County, White County, Westville, and is now on the move to Wabash Valley Correctional in southwestern Indiana, 230.7 miles and 3.5 hours away in a car from his new defense team in Fort Wayne. Baldwin and Rosie previously argued that Allen's pretrial incarceration so far away from his first defense team and his hometown of Delphi made it hard to meet and advise him on the case or stay in touch with his family. The attorneys also said it was unsafe for Allen to remain in Westville because his corrections officers wore patches displaying allegiance to Odinism, a Germanic Nordic practice that the lawyers claim was present at the Delphi murder scene. Special Judge Fran Gull deferred to the Carroll County Sheriff and the Indiana Department of Correction in maintaining Allen's housing at Westville Correctional, though there's no indication why the accused man is being moved even farther away to south of Terre Haute, where Wabash Correctional is less crowded or may have better programs for persons held in custody, or keeps Allen away from the corrections officers who displayed allegiance to Odinism. The Indiana Attorney General and the Department of Correction did not respond to requests for comment, nor did Allen's new defense team. Meanwhile, I've had an Open Records Act request pending at IDOC for more than 2 months asking about the presence of Odinism patches on corrections officers' uniforms, about the warden's directive that those patches be removed, and for a report about the time an electric stun device was used against Allen by COs last spring. I'm still waiting for those answers. Nick?
All right, Russ, thank
All right, that one was better. I knew I had downloaded two of them, but one was better than the other. But either way, it is sad. Okay, it's very sad. And it's sad that, this is a sad mess too. This lady has not had any kind of peace since this started. Not, she didn't, even if he did do this, she didn't. And with everything going on with this, it's ridiculous. It really is. Well, of course. I mean, that's the easiest thing to do. Just move him to a different facility. Further away. 7 hours, folks. 7 hours round trip. I mean, come on. It's 3.5 hours there, 3.5 hours back in a car ride, so on and so forth. I mean, that is insane. Insane. But, I mean, the only hopes that we can have with this happening is that maybe he's away from people that were giving him a rough time. I'll just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. That's the only thing I can say. One second here. I was going to show you guys. I'm trying to pull this up here real quick. 1 second. All right, here we go. Come on in, guys. If you're just getting here, thank you for joining us. Find a seat. Kimberly KB, thank you for joining us today. Oh, that's true too. That is true. All right. So here is from the Carroll County Circuit Court document, State of Indiana versus Richard Allen. Notice to the court regarding transfer of defendant. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna have to shrink it down. Excuse me. The Indiana Department of Correction, a non-party by counsel, respectfully notifies the court as follows. Good evening, D. Good to see you. 1. Defendant Richard M. Allen was placed under a safekeeping order by this court on November 3rd of 2022. That was over a year ago. What's up, Riddler? Thank you for joining us. Willie, what's happening, brother? And confined within the Indiana Department of Correction throughout the pendency of his action or as otherwise determined by the court. 2. Pursuant to Indiana Code 35-33-11-1, The commissioner of the Indiana Department of Corrections may transfer an individual under a safekeeping order to a facility deemed suitable for their confinement with available space. So why is he under a safekeeping order? Honestly, if the things that have been stated aren't true, why is he under a safekeeping order? That's my thought. Okay, moving forward. On number 3, on December 6th of 2023, Mr. Allen was transferred from Westville Correctional Facility to Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. Number 4, the Indiana Department of Correction anticipates continuity of services and care provided to Mr. Allen at Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. Respectfully submitted, Theodore Rakita, Attorney General of Indiana. Well, anticipates continuity of services. Well, I hope that they don't continue to do what they've been doing. I'll just say that. And that's another good question. Protection from whom? Or what? Again, if these things are not happening that have been claimed to be happening, why is he under a protection order? I mean, we know what this means, you know, document-wise, the legality of it and all that kind of stuff, but still. Kind of interesting to me, folks. It really is. So let me see here. Okay, this is something that Sleuthy just sent me here too. Now let me give you guys a little look at this here. Welcome, Lisa. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Willie and Riddler, if you didn't hear me, welcome to you, my friends. Good to see you both. And anybody else that I may have missed, thank you for jumping in with us today. Tonight, I should say. So this, excuse me, is United States District Court, Southern District of Indiana, Terre Haute Division. Okay, this was filed June 10th of 2019. Brian Mast, plaintiffs versus the Commissioner, Indiana Department of Correction, defendants. All right. Report of class counsel. Plaintiffs by class counsel Kenneth J. Falks say that on March 18th of 2019, counsel for the parties filed their stipulation to terminate private settlement agreement following notice to the class and approval by the court / joint motion to approve a manner of notice, docket 138. On that date, undersigned counsel also filed plaintiff's motion to approve class notice, docket 139. On March 20th, you probably can't see this, of 2019, this court issued its order approving form and manner of notice, which approved the proposed class notice and ordered that it had been given as set out in the parties' stipulation, and further ordered plaintiff's counsel to report back to the court as to the results of the notice no earlier than 30 days after the delivery or posting of the notice as required by stipulation, docket 142. On April 2nd of 2019, this court approved an amended notice in place of the notice earlier presented to the court, docket 146. Undersigned counsel was informed on June 4th of 2019 by David Arthur, counsel for the defendants, that the class notice had been posted for at least 30 days and provided as required by the party stipulation. Undersigned counsel as class count. Yeah, let's try this again. Class counsel therefore makes the following report concerning comments he has received about the proposed termination of the private settlement agreement in this case. As indicated in the notice, there was sent to prisoners. Counsel agreed to summarize all comments that he received, although with the explicit consent of the prisoner. Counsel also agreed to also give the correspondence containing the prisoner's comments directly to the court. The comments are summarized below. Where the prisoner has not consented to the release of his or her comments to the court, the prisoner's name is not used. He or she is listed by a number, which would be their inmate number, I'm sure. Although a number of prisoners gave their consent to disclose their correspondence to the court, some of the correspondence discloses personal information concerning the prisoner's mental health conditions, and counsel is uncomfortable disclosing the correspondence publicly. Therefore, counsel has filed these letters under seal and designated the prisoners by letter. A number of prisoners have filed comments directly with the court. Those comments are summarized below, but counsel has not included copies of the comments, but has noted the numbers given to them by this court's electronic filing system. All right, let me see here. Yeah, that's what I had understood, Salty, was that Allen was sent to the same prison that Keegan Klein was sent to as well. That's what I heard. Hey, Bombshell, welcome. Good to see you. Come on in. Find a seat, please. Okay. Let me see. Back to where I was. As the court knows, the proposed stipulation, if approved, would dismiss the private settlement agreement in this case that prohibits the housing of seriously mental ill prisoners within what was formerly called the Secured Housing Unit, SHU, now Secure Confinement Unit, SCU, at Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. In return, as noted in the proposed stipulation, the prohibition on placing a seriously mental ill prisoners in secure confinement as set out in the private settlement agreement in Indiana Protection in Advocacy Services Commission, I'm not going to read all that, would remain in place for at least 1 year from the dismissal of the private settlement agreement in this case. Many of the comments received do not specifically concern the issue set out in the above paragraph. Nevertheless, all comments are summarized below where the letters have been quoted. Counsel has not corrected spelling or grammar. In a number of letters that are summarized below, prisoners asked for copies of either the private settlement agreement in this case or in the IPAS case. These requests will be honored. Number 10, here are the comments received as of this date. What's up, ATS News? Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. So Brandon Bates is currently in the, and then the reason why we're reading this, folks, is this relates to the prison that Richard Allen was just sent to. Okay. I should have probably told you that up front. My apologies if I didn't for not doing that. Jody Walters, good to see you. So it's going to give you kind of a bird's eye, or no, a visualization of a scenario with that prison. Okay. Brandon Bates is currently in the IRT program at Pendleton Correctional Facility that was established by the IPAS agreement. He states that staff is not complying with the settlement and the program should be shut down. Borislav Kukovic states that the SCU with windowless cells is like a dungeon and mentally ill persons should not be put there. Even if not seriously mentally ill, terminating the settlement will not benefit anyone other than the DOC. Which again, guys, I don't know if you guys understand how that works. That if you have somebody that's mentally ill and you put them in a 4x4 or a 6x6 room with no windows, no nothing, and they're already mentally ill, even remotely, as this states, they're going on a ride, folks. They're going on a ride through their, it's going to cause people to go like deeper. Okay. It's not healthy for people to go through that at all. Thank you very much for that, Riddler. I do appreciate you very much. I cannot see who it was, or who got it, but thank you. Looks like D Smith got it. Congrats, D. Welcome to the sauce. So it says, you only make the DOC, Department of Corrections, happier. Please, I beg you, don't do it, please. Okay. David Dimmitt, I urge the court that the IPAS is better, and dismissal of the masked agreement is not only fair, reasonable, and adequate, but necessary. Donald Douglas asks for more information on the cases and does not take a position on the termination of the masked agreement. Thomas Hale cites an article in the International Journal of Offender Therapy and Comparative Criminology that discusses the adverse psychological effects of solitary confinement or on prisoners in supermax units. He has no specific comments concerning the termination of the masked agreement. And I'm going to tell you guys, I read multiple articles about this scenario. After watching a documentary I watched about 2 years ago about what the effects of solitary confinement can do to somebody that already has ongoing mental health issues, even if they're very minute. It will cause you, it can cause you to go down into a dark, dark hole, and bring out the absolute worst of whatever disease mentally that you could be. Shut up, Pope Bomber. Good to see you, buddy. Whatever disease that you have going on. Okay, so you got to imagine. I know, buddy. Good to see you. And you got to think about the scenario, guys. If somebody's sitting in a 4x4, 6x6, even an 8x8 cell, there's no light, there's no windows, there's no humanity around this person. If they're held in confinement, people need interaction with people. Period. Okay, it's just a fact. It's a psychological thing. You can look it up. Leaving somebody in there for God knows how long, it will break you, folks. It will break you down. And we've seen this happen to other people. And then when you add the other, how can I put this? The other instances of negative attention that an inmate can get along with this, it's bad. It's very bad. Jody Walters, good to see you. I'm just saying, folks, you got to understand, like, some of these people that go into solitary, they get 1 hour a day outside of that, and that's to shower and eat and stuff like that. I mean, it's just the eating thing I'm wrong with, but the showering and stuff like that, and then they put them right back in there. It's just unhealthy, period. So, and I understand some inmates, prisoners that are being held probably don't deserve a whole lot of niceties. Okay, but these are still human beings that have human rights and still need to be looked at. Whoever did this to Abby and Libby, they're a horrific human being. They're a horrific person. Okay, they need to be punished in the correct way. But people still have human rights, so that's why these things are important to understand. Welcome, Lynn. Thank you for joining us tonight. Charles Justice, is against the termination, as it appears that prisoners had more protections under the mask than under IPAS. He asks for further information on the agreements. Philip Grimsley indicates that the Newcastle Annex is not following the settlement agreement. He says that offenders are allowed recreation for only 75 minutes a day. Okay, so that's a little over an hour, folks. If they are allowed out of their cells at all, as I was saying, some weeks we're locked down. Where we are locked down for 2 to 3 days out of the week. That's 48 to 72 hours that people they don't get any kind of movement. They're in that cell. Because offenders are not currently being protected, now is not the time to withdraw from the settlement agreement. Now, see, there's that protected thing again. It makes you wonder. Philip Littler states that he is seriously mental ill. He filed a petition for leave to intervene in this case, docket 147. He objects to continued representation of the class by Kenneth Falk on several grounds, including Mr. Falk's collusion with the Department of Corrections, his clear financial motivation, and his lack of standing to arbitrarily and unilaterally practically hijacked the mass case. Sorry about that. Lawsuits filed by Mr. Falk make conditions in the DOC worse, including litigation concerning kosher diets. In part, because the DOC now skirts the requirements of the IPAS agreement by refusing to give people mental health classifications. The IPAS agreement itself ignores the needs of people with social anxiety who truly need to be confined in solitude. Mr. Littler describes himself as being such a person. The only way to attain such solitude is on a restricted housing unit, which is more abusive than segregation. There is reason to believe, based on Mr. Littler's interviews with prisoners who were on those units, that the mental health units are even more abusive than the regular segregation units. Before making any decision on the mass settlement agreement, Mr. Littler says the court should investigate the psychiatric unit at Wabash Valley and the treatment unit at Newcastle. Given the horrors that prisoners suffered at Wabash Valley prior to mass, no actual member of this class wants to reopen the SCU to house us arbitrarily and abusively for years on end. And the 1-year extension of the IPAS agreement offered in exchange is absolutely meaningless to us. Welcome, Todd. That I don't know, Todd. I'll have to look into that. Welcome, Jesse. Good to see you tonight. Joshua McDaniel offers no opinion on the settlement agreement, but is extremely concerned about the suicidal offenders housed in his dorm, who must cope with harassment, difficult living conditions, and untrained staff. McDaniel explains that these guys are paraded in here in front of all of us. People talk shit and yell at them. They are not permitted mattresses, nor any reading materials. They are provided with powdered juice, but no means to drink it. He believes mentally ill people should be in a highly controlled environment for sure, around highly educated and trained professionals. John Miller states that the Department of Corrections is breaking the private settlement agreement from MAST. If a seriously mental ill prisoner is creating problems for the staff, Miller states that the staff will have the mental health at Westville take their mental health code of them so they can put them in for a transfer to Wabash Valley, where they will be placed in long-term segregation. Miller also believes the Department of Corrections is violating the IPAS agreement. And rather than terminating the agreement, more needs to be done about this, because if not, another lawsuit could be filed. Hey, Justice, good to see you tonight. Clinton Riley objects to the incarceration and warehousing of the mentally ill within the DOC. Based on the injustices of the SOMMS program, he opposes any new structure by the DOC can oppress and control those over whom the DOC should have custody in the first place. Jerome Robertson has been on department-wide administration segregation since April of last year. He is seriously mental ill and is housed at the Westville Control Unit. He is not permitted 10 hours of weekly treatment. He objects to the fact that there are no windows on the secured confinement unit, and he believes that the proposed settlement will result in mentally ill prisoners being confined there, despite what the DOC has said. See, this is the thing, folks. Thank you very much, Brandy. I appreciate you. I do believe that a prisoner that is mentally ill, okay, they have prisons that house criminally insane, mentally ill people. There should be staff trained specifically for that, and they should be housed in a specific way. You can't just throw somebody into a hole that has mental issues and just say, okay, that's where you're going to stay, without checking on them, without giving them specific. I mean, a lot of these people need to take medications, folks. Okay. That's how they ended up in this position in some senses. This makes zero sense when you do these types of things. You're not, prison is supposed to be a rehabilitation facility. That's not rehabilitation. You're making these people worse in some senses, okay? So when this person does their time, per se, they get out because they have been rehabilitated, and then they go out and something bad happens. What do you look at then? You know what I mean? That's just my opinion on this. I may be reading this wrong or reading into this in the wrong way, but that's one of the things I see being a problem. So, that's why I'm explaining it like that. Some of this just seems inhumane, in my opinion, completely. Whether they're accused of crimes or not, they still have human rights, period. Let me see where I left off at. Being there. Okay. Despite what the DOC has said, the proposed agreement in this case demonstrates that undersigned counsel is in cahoots with the Department of Corrections to justify the inadequate mental health treatment provided by the DOC. And see, there you go. Well, here's the thing, though, Carolyn. I don't think that all prisoners are mentally. I mean, when I say mentally ill, I'm talking about severely mentally ill. Of course, anybody that's in prison, there's something off about that person, but that a lot of these people can be rehabilitated. I'm not saying a murderer or somebody that commits, multiple murders, like serial killer, nobody like that. I'm just saying this seems to be a blanket scenario, in my opinion, from what I can understand. So, and I'm sure everybody's treated in the same sense as far as that matter goes. J.L. Spivey submitted a letter to the court, docket number 148, as well as a letter to the ACLU. This latter letter is attached. In the letter to the court, he states that he has been held in the SHU for more than 24 months as an act of retaliation for mailing letters that reveal the true character of the DOC. Imagine that. He opposes the dismissal of the agreement, which he believed would run counter to the ultimate goal of being able to lower our almost 80% reoffense level. That's what I was trying to talk about there. Segregation provokes mental illness. The use of segregation must be greatly reduced. Even though mental health professionals are constrained by the Department of Corrections in terms of what good they do, the presence of mental health staff has greatly improved the prison environment until the DOC radically reduces or reconfigures the use of segregation agreements like Mass versus Donahue are vital because they facilitate positive change. His letter to the ACLU is identical in large part. And see, that's something that I told you guys before, my mother worked as a nurse in the local prison around here and has also said there's not enough mental health staff for these people, if any at all. Okay, standard medical help, such as what my mother would be, just a regular nurse, they cannot feed to or not feed to. I'm sorry, read into or facilitate somebody that has mental health issues. Okay, you need somebody that has that as their background. You need somebody that specializes in that. So I'm just saying, folks. Gregory A. Taylor submitted a declaration, docket 150. He is in the special needs unit at Wabash Valley Correctional Facility and states that there is no mental health treatment going on, like I said, here, only playing cards and coloring. Mentally ill offenders see a psychiatrist every 90 days for 3 minutes. So once every 3 months for 3 minutes, what can you do in 3 minutes? Honestly, by the time you get in there and you sit down and you go to speak to this person, if they even want to speak to you, what is that doctor going to get out? That doctor can't read that person. He cannot look at that person and observe any kind of changes in their health scenario in a 3 minute period of time. Come on now. That needs to be something that needs to be monitored on a daily basis, in my opinion. Okay. Or at least a bi-daily basis, okay? Every other day or something. But you can't sure tell ain't going to find nothing out in 3 minutes, folks. Come on now. That just makes no sense to me. And I'm sure that it's all based on financial aspects. I mean, this is insane. So anyway, 90 days for 3 minutes, and he has been told by a correctional officer that once this case is dismissed, the state will be free to do whatever. He complains of contacting undersigned counsel, but receiving no response. He also complains that the class notice was only posted for 2 weeks rather than 30 days. It absolutely is, Todd. That's what's going on in our world right now, folks. I've been talking about this for months now, that I want to do a mental health show, and I'm really trying to do it. But it's different in the criminal world than it is out here with the rest of us, okay? That makes it even a worse situation to me when it comes to prison, okay? That needs to be, we don't have enough, awareness and enough mental health housing and enough treatment out here in the free world compared. Just imagine what it's like within prison walls. You know what I mean? So anyway, Joe Vale does not comment on the settlement agreement, but he would like the court to know that he suffers from serious seizures. Let's see, here we go. Which his medication does nothing to alleviate. While seizing, he often injures himself. He woke from a recent seizure covered in blood from an injury to his chin that required stitches. Staff not only failed to assist him, but also spray him with mace. What? You see what I'm saying? That's a civil rights, a human rights lawsuit right there. They have to treat injuries in the prison. You can't just let it go. That does happen too, Carolyn. I understand that the workers do get abused by inmates as well. Then you need to have more precautions put in place. They need to spend the money that they need to be funded the money, spend the money that it takes to treat these people in the right sense to protect themselves as well as the prisoner themselves. Okay. That's how it needs to work, but it doesn't. I know. And I agree with you, Val. I know there's people that are going to disagree with me talking about this. She says ones may not like this, but even though they're in jail, they are human beings. That's fact. It is a fact. And a lot of these people, well, most people that are in prison are already convicted of the crime. Okay. We have somebody going into this prison that has not been convicted of this yet. He is still innocent till proven guilty, and he's sitting in a prison. So therefore, think about this, guys. If something happens to him before he's convicted of this crime, what happens then? Think about that. That's interesting to me. Okay. Quentin Phipps says that he is seriously mental ill and is in secure confinement for something that he had no control of. He has no comments on the settlement, probably because he's afraid to. Obviously, some of these people probably are. Prisoner A, he describes himself as seriously mentally ill, and describes a suicide attempt and suicidal thoughts. He reports that the DOC is not properly treating his mental illness, and people are kicked out of mental health programming without treatment. He notes that if they follow the agreement, then yes, it will work. But who is enforcing the agreement? That's a good question. Prisoner B, he states that he is severely disabled both mentally and physically. He has no comments on the proposed termination of the private settlement agreement, but discusses his medical situation and his underlying criminal case. Prisoner C, this prisoner writes an extremely lengthy letter, and he is against the agreement being terminated. He believes that if the agreement is terminated, prisoners with mental illness will be placed inside the SCU at Wabash Valley, and this will injure them. He is concerned that the DOC will label these prisoners as not seriously mentally ill, but suffering from behavioral problems. He is concerned that mass agreement is terminated. If the mass agreement is terminated, he will be transferred to the SCU and be punished for having mental health issues. And see, that does happen, okay? that does happen, that prisoners, because of their mental illnesses, just like with children that have ADHD or things like that, they look at them as being bad kids, for lack of better terms. So they're just saying, oh, that's just a bad prisoner, so he gets beat or tased or whatever it is. Hey, Nikki, thank you for joining us, hon. And it's facts, folks, because they're not being medicated correctly, they're not being treated right, and they're not facilitated in the way that they need to be. That's sad. No bigger project in the state. Indiana's Westville Prison is state's largest construction project at $1.2 billion and spending a lot of money. Yeah, I've heard that too. Thank you, Lynn. So, where are we at here? Okay. He is concerned that the mass agreement would, if the mass agreement is terminated, he will be transferred to SCU and be punished for having mental health issues. If he is transferred to the SCU, I have no doubt that I will end my life as a result. Wow. He thinks the definition of seriously mentally ill in the mass case should be applied to the IPAS agreement. Interesting. Prisoner D opposes termination of the agreement. He is particularly concerned because he believes the Department of Corrections is already circumventing the IPAS agreement by simply discontinuing meds and changing the mental health code for any offender of the DOC. Any offender the DOC wishes to place in segregation, that's completely wrong. He himself is now being refused medication despite his history of anxiety, depression, self-harming, attempted suicide, and hearing voices. That's definitely medicatable, all of that. Okay. But he's not getting medication for it. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. Wow. He believes that this is so he can be placed in segregation to dismiss the agreement. I'm sorry, period. To dismiss the agreement in mass versus Donahue, he says, will be a step in the wrong direction. I am currently attempting to prevent offenders from being housed on segregation for years under extremely harsh conditions, which serve no penological interest other than to torture and torment us, knowing that segregation drives offenders mad as it has to be limited. Please do not dismiss mass versus Donahue. Hey, Annie, good to see you tonight. Come on in, and guys, hit that like button on the way through the door, please, so we can get this out in that algorithm, please. This is insane. Prisoner E notes concerns about the placement of mentally ill persons in segregation and believes that removing the mass definition of seriously mentally ill may be arbitrarily used to lower the level of the IDOC's commitment to the settlement. He was concerned that he was deemed to be seriously mentally ill in the past, was released, and came back to the DOC 6 months later on a suspected parole violation and was reclassified and told that he was no longer seriously mentally ill. That's not how that works, folks. Welcome, Leslie. Thank you for joining us tonight. He complains of conditions in the segregation unit at Indiana State Prison. This is crazy, folks. Prisoner F complains that he is seriously mentally ill but is confined to the Westville Control Unit in administrative segregation. He has no specific comments concerning the termination of the mass agreement, but believes that he should be in a mental health unit or an open housed facility. And see, that's the thing, guys, with some people that have these illnesses, being confined is part of that illness. Okay, there's a fear of the confinement. Understand that people, even somebody that has what do you call that? I have it, okay, and I know how I feel with it. When you have that issue with small spaces, I know the word, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it right now. Claustrophobic. Okay, when you're claustrophobic and you put somebody in a small place like that, confined with no windows, you feel like you can't breathe. Okay, so imagine this scenario. Good to see you, Vicky. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you, Zelda. Yeah, claustrophobia is real, folks, and it's bad. I have it. Bad. Okay. Anyway, let me go down through here. A lot of these are the same. Prisoner I does not reference the settlement agreement in Mast. He says he is a seriously mentally ill person and asked the court to preserve the rule limiting the number of days that seriously mentally ill patients can be held in segregation. He has benefited from the rule that limits this period to 30 days. 30 days, okay? Some of these people, agoraphobia, yes, that's a different one there, Carolyn, but that is, and claustrophobia too, both of those. Claustrophobia is the one I was talking about. But imagine some of these people, they get thrown into this and they're left in there for 90, 120, 24 months at times. Like, you've heard that. This is crazy. What's up, Crossroads? Thanks for being here tonight. I appreciate you. Prisoner J disagrees with the idea of dropping the lawsuit. He was sent to the mental health unit at Newcastle Correctional Facility after attempting suicide. There are many times. And because of issue there, he was sent to the Westville Control Unit. He was stripped of his mental health codes and sent to Pendleton, a fate he says has befallen numerous offenders. And he is concerned that terminating the agreement will result in the DOC keeping us on lockup for years. And it sounds to me like sometimes they just, because they don't want to deal with these people, they'll take them down, throw them in a cell, and walk away and forget that they exist. Other than dropping a tray of garbage food to them every now and then, that's what they get. That's horrible. That's just horrible to think of. Again, these people are prisoners. I get it. They're still human beings, guys. Let me see here. I know I'm rambling. These are a lot of the same thing, folks. It's just stating that these people are all saying it's not a good idea because it's going to cause more problems. Okay. Prisoner number 2. This offender makes no comment on the settlement, but describes his own situation in some detail. His diagnosis includes depression, schizophrenia, hallucinations, seizures, and a history of self-harm going back to his childhood. He is also indigent. He objects to being housed with the general population, which intensifies his paranoia and predisposes him toward violence. He also objects to being located deep in the range where guards cannot see and do not check. When he has seizures, they neither see him nor come to assist him, even when other offenders call out for help. He cannot report suicidal ideation out of fear of being placed in a strip cell. Other offenders prey on his loneliness and his mental illness, taking him out of his small monthly allotment of commissary items by promising to be his friend. Wow. Prisoner number 3. This individual expresses no opinion about the settlement, instead explaining what needs to be provided to help mentally ill people in the DOC, including counseling, air conditioning, proper staffing levels, proper medication, and either a television or windows. He has been through the IRT program. See, and I know that there's people that are going to disagree with this. I've heard people talk about this stuff, that these people are prisoners. They don't deserve creature comforts. I get it, folks. I do. Okay. I truly feel in some senses the same way. Somebody that, for instance, whoever is found guilty, if they don't get the death penalty of the Idaho 4, that's a quadruple homicide. You unalived 4 people. You don't deserve, if you don't get the death penalty, to live a comfortable life. I understand that, okay? But when you have a mental health issue, that's a different scenario. And we still do need to remember that these people are human beings and have basic human rights, okay? As angry as we get at these people for what they do, it still has to be thought of in that sense. Prisoner number 4, this person identifies himself as a C-code mental patient and states that he is heavily medicated. He does not comment on the mass settlement, but does note that he is currently in segregation after receiving 90 days for a write-up. Please get me out of segregation. He feels he is in danger. He requests help in his criminal case. Let me see. Again, these guys, a lot of these are the same thing, which we've already heard multiple times. Okay, prisoner number 7. This individual states that he has been diagnosed with an Axis I psychosis and Axis 1 psychosis and an Axis 2 behavioral disorder. After being physically attacked, he was placed in protective custody, and he believes that the conditions for mentally ill prisoners in protective custody must be taken into account before terminating the agreement en masse. At present, to gain protection, offenders must sacrifice treatment and vice versa. Wow. Hold on, guys. Keep losing. I need new glasses bad. The ones I have don't work at all. I see better this way. He himself attempted suicide because he cannot get the treatment he needs in protective custody. So the guy attempted to unalive himself just to get the right treatment that he feels that he needs for his mental health issues. That's ridiculous. Okay. So the mentally ill prisoners in protective custody also reside in windowless cells where they can be seen and ridiculed by offenders in the general population. And they have no access to programs. These agreements are important, he says, and we still need your concerns and the protection of the court. What's up, Friday? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for jumping in tonight. Prisoner number 8, this individual, okay, this is the same. Oh, no. Makes no comment on the settlement agreement en masse. He has a lengthy history of mental health problems preceding his formal diagnosis of schizophrenia in 2016. He is currently in disciplinary segregation for a period of 6 months. It's a long time, folks, because he fled from a correctional officer while overcome by paranoia. He contends that according to the agreed entry, this violates his due process rights. Gotcha. Okay, so number 9, this individual is a graduate of the PLUS program who has served as a suicide watch companion in mental health unit. In this capacity, he has observed delays in food, water, and other basic needs due to understaffing of the prison at large. Staff also provoke the people on suicide watch, mock them, and if they mouth off, may even beat them up. By way of commenting on the settlement agreement, he simply says, I want you to be aware of these things. Wow. Yes, Sarge, it's great to see you. We've missed you. You should come through more often, my friend. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot. A lot of these, like I said, they kind of like are the same. Prisoner number 11, this individual who is incarcerated in a DOC facility, offers no specific opinion of the mass settlement agreement, but submits a paper written last year for a class. The paper, in turn, underscores the plight of mentally ill prisoners who are Black and LGBTQ because they face racism, homophobia, and the stigma of mental illness, and they tend to fare the worst in the prison system. Wow. This is all just sad, folks. Very sad. Like I said, a lot of these are just copies of the other. Prisoner number 15, this person has a mild intellectual disability, bipolar disorder, and intermittent explosive disorder. He is in a mental health unit and states that he has been locked down for 1 year straight. He makes no comment about the mass agreement, only a request for help. A lot of these people are reaching out for help in this scenario. I mean, this is sad, guys. There's a lot. There's a lot of these. I can go on forever and ever with this, guys. There's a lot to this. So that's just a huge handful of these people that are in this document, okay? Wait a minute. I'm going to go back and read through all of this myself, but there's a lot in here, guys. Okay, so wow. Okay. This is just sad. And in the end of this, it says the undersigned counsel believes that there is a real benefit to continuing the private settlement agreement in the IPAS case, and it is necessary to allow for the dismissal of the MAST agreement to continue the IPAS agreement. Undersigned counsel therefore continues to believe that the proposed dismissal of the private settlement agreement in this case is a fair, reasonable, and adequate resolution of this matter. At the fairness hearing in this case, undersigned counsel will address why he believes the requirements of Rule 3023-2 are met in this case. Wherefore, case counsel files his report to this court. Wow, this is crazy. It is. They started using that stuff again, Carolyn. Like I said, guys, we'd be here forever if I went through all of this. But it, there's a lot more testimonies from other prisoners that are not being treated as they should in a mental health scenario. Okay. There's a lot of misdiagnosis of this. There's a lot of, and what I would say, laziness, because COs don't want to deal with mental health itself. Now, what does this have to do with Richard Allen? Okay. So we know that Richard Allen is being kept in segregation for his own safety per se. But if that's where he's being held, we don't know what, if he, I mean, he's got something going on. Okay. Back when he had made the admission of guilt, there was something stated that he wasn't in his right mind. Well, I wonder why. Okay. And the other abuse allegations that are there, all of this, that has been alleged relates to this stuff, folks. That's a scary scenario because this man's being has been put in this prison. Okay. Once again, somebody that has not been convicted of a crime being held in prison, and he shouldn't be. So welcome, Bianca. Good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for that, Sleuthy. That's very, very interesting, to say the least. Like I said, guys, we got so much to read through that. We'd be here forever. And I wanted to get into the other stuff we were looking at tonight. Hold on a minute here. One moment, please. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys this too. I was going to do this myself to show you where he's going to. Real quick here. This is where he's headed to, I should say, or is now. All right.
Wabash Valley Prison in Indiana contains a super maximum security unit. Some of the state's most ruthless and dangerous prisoners are housed here. For its 2,200 inmates, the reality of life inside this prison is hard time. Drugs are a major problem in many American prisons, and Wabash Valley is no exception.
The drug trafficking is probably the biggest thing, maybe second only to extortions and gang activities of that nature.
But inmates need help to smuggle drugs in. And it's not just visitors that are involved.
Good morning.
Hi, Errol. How you doing?
Not bad. Anything happen here?
Yeah, we're just quite busy.
To combat the drug problem, Internal Affairs Chief Don Tyler is in constant contact with the head of the intelligence unit, Alan Finnan.
Friday evening, we arrested one of our correctional officers on a Class A felony, possession with intent to deliver cocaine, and a Class C felony, trafficking with an inmate. Something's been going on for about a year. And I'll give you some names later on, and if you'll start running them through your security threat group, we'll see if any of them, any of the people he was been involved with is anybody that you've been involved with.
Okay.
At any time, staff can be subjected to random searches as they enter the facility. But that doesn't dissuade all of them.
They will smash marijuana in a plastic bag and put it in their socks, in their shoes. They will tape it to their upper thigh area, very close, very, very tight areas in which sometimes searches aren't conducted as they should be done. They have been found to have placed marijuana and such in Coke cans and soft drink cans. The top has been broken off, the contents has been emptied out, and the controlled substances, marijuana and such, have been placed inside the cans. We've had it in sandwich bags and even between slices of bread.
And it's not just internal security measures that are used to stop the drug flow. The Internal Affairs Unit also works closely with the Indiana State Police when they have a target in their sights.
Tyler, may I help you? You got both VPs open? Oh, shit. Okay, I know that, but nobody told me that from the beginning.
A drug sting operation is underway, and nerves are becoming frayed.
All right, find out for me. Call me back.
Detective Daryl Bomer from the Indiana State Police is present.
Hey, do we have to have both VPs open?
No, we don't.
Good. Close VP4, would you please? I didn't know they were going to use both VPs.
Well, Craig, but I'll do that. I'll take
Okay, buddy. Oh, goodbye.
And that way we can limit access to dumping locations once we get in.
Yeah, see, what we're concerned about, Harley, is if these people, these targets come in and they get spooked for some reason or another and head for a bathroom, if we got them only going one direction, which is VP3 only, which is the biggest area where they can be contained and brought back here, that's what we're trying to accomplish. Thank you very much.
Yeah, VP3 closed.
This is an investigation where this office learned from an offender inside the facility that another offender had a visitor coming on a pretty consistent basis bringing drugs in. We've learned that today she may be bringing in approximately 6 ounces of marijuana and 200 hits of acid. We've obtained a search warrant, and upon her arrival here, we're going to have the Indiana State Police assist us search the subject. While we're doing the search, we're going to have a canine unit
shit, 200 hits of acid.
collecting the vehicle. Hey, bud, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Detective Gary Hoskins completes the search team.
So far, after getting the search warrant yesterday, I appreciate your help on that. We've got some key personnel stationed at the facility. Have a female officer out at gate 1 that can identify this lady. We've got a female officer at the visiting process that can identify her. When they get here, they're going to let me know she's coming through the gate. I want to see where she parks. I'm going to notify the K9 unit. He's going to come through and head for the car. Then we was going to get up and walk in there. I would like very much for them to sign in with an intent to get into this place, not just coming along to visit.
That's good.
Once they're signing in with the intent, then I was going to walk up to them and tell them, you know, I'm Don Tyler, Internal Affairs. This is Investigator Hoskins, Indiana State Police. We would like to speak with you for a moment. You take it with your search warrant. From that point, him and I'll take the other 2 and bring them back up here. Is that okay?
That works. That sounds like a plan.
Okie dokie. That's just waiting in.
Okay.
Wait. Tyler, may I help you? Yes. Okay, and is she driving? The silver Saab. Okay.
86, 81.
So I'm guessing that this stuff is still going on, you know, right here and now as we speak. I mean, I've heard that this stuff goes on throughout all prisons, but you know.
There's a green gal in a green coat walking in. She parked over about 5th or 6th row.
I want to be able to sign that book.
The drug courier has arrived at the visiting processing area, and the bust is about to begin.
Hi, Mary. Mary Doodle?
Yeah.
My name's Don Tyler. I'm Internal Affairs. This is Investigator Gary Hoskins with the Indiana State Police. He'd like to speak to you.
Sure.
Okay, you want to come over here for just a second? This is all we can record is a search warrant. You are authorized and ordered in the name of the state of Indiana For the necessary and proper assistance to search the person of Mary. How do you pronounce your last name?
Gerardo.
Gerardo, white female. Is that your social security number? Yeah. And your date of birth? This is your copy. Okay. Over here, I have a female police officer with the state police. And you need to go with her.
I'm going to say no.
And now she's with the state police officer and a female officer from the Department of Corrections. They're going to conduct a search of her person for illegal controlled substances.
Marijuana.
That is marijuana.
Search looking. You keep an eye on.
Tobacco and $500 worth of marijuana have been discovered in Mary Gerardo's underwear.
There's supposed to be money hidden inside this picture. When you sign this, send out a column. 2 people have to count it.
This is the prison that Richard Allen was just transferred to, J-Lit. Wow, look at that. They said they just found $200 worth of marijuana in her underwear. And that money, they just opened up a Polaroid picture and it was inside the picture. I've never seen or heard that before. What's up, Lily? Good to see you, dear.
$725 in cash was hidden in the picture. Then in the glove, we've got, looks like a rubber glove with marijuana and maybe tobacco. We don't open that up until we get to the post where we can do it properly.
All right, talking.
Mary Gerardo is charged with possession of marijuana and conspiracy to traffic drugs.
Deadly.
Gerardo is now under arrest and leaves for arraignment at the county jail.
We've got some joints already rolled up, some roaches, some burned marijuana, and some loose marijuana in there, plus some smoking papers. Troy, do you have an evidence bag? She's looking at felony possession of marijuana, and there's also, I believe, a Class C felony for if we can prove the trafficking, the intent to traffic. She has several arrests for shoplifting, criminal conversion, which is a minor theft. We also learned that she just recently, within the last week, been arrested in Fort Wayne for possession of marijuana. Seemed to be quite a large amount of cash here. 480 plus. I haven't counted the ones yet. We'll get this big bill bagged before the wind gets us. Usually something will go wrong. This went extremely well. The visitor showed up on time. Everyone was ready to do their part, and it worked out perfect, really. We write the scripts, but they don't always follow them. So there's generally some bumps in the road, and you just kind of go with the flow and work it out. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes that. We had good information, and we followed up on it, and she got caught.
That was I was curious myself. This is from 6 years ago, it says.
In every prison, there are some offenders whose criminal acts are associated with mental illness.
Out of prison. Josie, good to see you.
In the past, these people may have been committed to mental institutions. But in Indiana, as more and more of these facilities close, prisons like Wabash Valley are having to accommodate increasing numbers of mentally ill inmates. These prisoners are housed in a special psych unit.
Here we go. This is the part that I wanted everybody to see after what we just went over with that document.
No one has ever considered that they might be mentally ill before in most cases. They've just been treated as offenders. They've been treated as criminals when they were on the streets and so forth and so on. They're just bad people, so to speak, and nobody considered that they might be ill as well. Once we decided that treating that mental illness could allow them to follow the rules, this unit was designed to help achieve that.
For these inmates, the journey back to mental health won't be an easy one. But the site unit aims to stabilise each of their conditions within 2.5 years so they can return to the general prison population.
I think it's the best thing that's happened to this prison. I think every prison ought to have something like this because you've got people that won't survive in population without this. Sure. Which class? Arts and crafts.
Some inmates, like Philip Sullivan, don't believe they should be in the psych unit at all.
I was just diagnosed that I was mentally ill because I said I heard Jesus Christ was going to set me free from prison. And they diagnosed me as hearing voices.
That's awesome, Lily. Congrats.
They believe in Jesus
Missed
Christ.
you too.
I've been with these inmates for almost 16 years or more. These inmates ain't schizophrenic, they ain't paranoid, they're just drug addicts. I have a degree in drug counseling. I've been counseling, I was just a counselor cancer patients as a baby. I left home at age 5 with my brother. I worked cancer houses at 5 years of age. When I went to school, I used to hide my brother before as a baby and wore Pampers.
His diagnosis is not as clear at this point. There's some delusional, he's heavily delusional.
No, I'm not delusional. I'm not a Charles Manson or Tex Watson. I'm not a schizophrenic paranoid. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not crazy.
Hey, Gary, good to see you tonight.
The most common tool used by the psych unit to stabilise these mentally ill prisoners is medication.
303.
The inmates are given psychotropic drugs 4 times a day to treat their specific illnesses.
C. Let's go for F.
Many of the prisoners in the unit are not only mentally ill, but also illiterate. Therapist Sharon Adams tutors them with psych games like Hangman to develop their vocabularies.
Well, see here, I get a
Is there a B in there?
This group's reading ability is at a preschool level.
give me A, B, C, D, E. Keep away.
He didn't say away. He said keep away.
See, what bothers me about this, you guys, is that in some instances, I think that mentally ill people that have committed these crimes in some senses not knowing what they're doing per se. A lot of these people don't know right from wrong. Okay. I don't believe they should be housed in a prison along with other prisoners, period. They should be in a hospital. Okay. Where they can be treated for what they have and not treated as such. That's what that whole document we just read through and all of this stuff. But you know, that's a whole different story. That this is just showing you the facility and what's going on in this facility with this. Okay.
T. Philip Sullivan is the only prisoner in this class who is refusing to take his medication. His delusional behavior is worsening as a result.
Mr. Sullivan's delusions is getting bigger by the way he signs in. He will sign in delusional, Disciple Sullivan. He will sign himself, the light, and then saying he's turning into Jesus Christ. He's been there before more than once. He thinks he's Jesus Christ.
I'll propose that somebody could call me a prophet if they wanted to.
Delusions are a classic symptom of schizophrenia, the most commonly diagnosed mental illness in the psych unit.
Welcome,
It's a disease that has both positive and negative symptoms.
This is it's a documentary based on, we're talking about the Delphi case. Richard Allen, the suspect that's in prison, was transferred from Westville to this prison that we're watching this documentary on right now. And I just read a document in regards to the treatment of mentally ill patients or inmates and the housing. And we all know that Richard Allen was kept in segregation away from the general population for his his safety per se, and that's kind of what this relates to. That's why we're watching this.
The positive symptoms are the ones that people are more aware of in general. Hallucinations, delusions, generally disordered types of thinking. The negative symptoms are flat affect and withdrawal and just an isolation kind of approach. It can be anything from growling noises to barks of a dog to their mother's voice, some unknown female's voice, a male voice. There's just a whole variety.
Joseph Garner is a paranoid schizophrenic whose father sexually molested him at the age of 6.
My mother had left the home because she was being abused, so she left because of the violence, and then she didn't have any job or any money, so she left me behind. And when she did, then I remember it was about my bath time. I used to take a bath on Sundays to get ready for the school week. And he come in there and hopped in the tub with me, and he scooted me up closer to him behind, and then I didn't like that too much, so he scooted put me in front, and then he would start scooting up on me, and I said no. I hollered that real quick because I always call it doing the nasty, is all I knew as a 6-year-old kid. And so I jumped out of the bathtub and ran for the bedroom, but he caught me before I got all the way in there, and that's when he molested me.
Joseph Garner suppressed this terrible memory for 30 years until one day it exploded.
I slit his throat. That's how I killed him, and then I ate part of his brain. That's where I'm already famous from the 1995. It happened on December 26, 1995, and I made the national news and everything because I ate part of his brain. So that made the headlines, and so I'm probably the most famous person in here. It was my first kill. I don't know. I was crazy. I was insane. I didn't know what I was doing. Have a good one.
Over the years, many inmates have probably escaped from Wabash Valley. But no one had ever succeeded in leaving before their time was up. No one until Randy Collins.
I'm only here because, as a superintendent, said that he was afraid of my mind, not so much that I was going to physically assault anyone or that he didn't know what my next idea might be.
Collins is a former used car salesman turned cocaine trafficker from Indianapolis, and he's never been short of ideas that have so tested the administration of the prison that he's been placed in the Secured Housing Unit, or SHU.
Now, this is the area that I just read you the document on, SHU, the Secured Housing Unit. That's where this is at here.
Randy's an interesting person. Probably one of the things that we can fear the most in criminal investigations and law enforcement officers is a criminal mind that is intelligent. They can be very dangerous. They're methodical and they plan things out. I would have to say that Randy is an intelligent person.
I know. That's why I'm here. I knew that you guys together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
tell me whenever I'm on camera, right? Yeah. It wasn't just that. You know I talk like that all the time.
I know. I was trying for that early release.
Somehow I knew that was going to
vacation again? Yeah, some time for another vacation. My hair's turning gray.
Randy's a regular at the weekly grievance hearings in the SHU. He likes to work the room.
Try to see if I can't work out some kind of maybe a detail job later on. I know there's one open on the next range over. I wonder if they've got anybody to take care of one. I know. Yeah.
The part-time postal job that Randy was running from his cell was fairly lucrative until Internal Affairs Chief Don Tyler got on his trail.
Yes, Randy is always looking for a way to circumvent the system. He's always looking for a way to make his life much more comfortable here.
True.
And he discovered a way of having stamps sent in to him, and he was able to get a large quantity of stamps. And if you'll think about it, stamps could be like currency. Stamps have a value to it.
You know, I don't want any more trouble. I just want to slide out, go home, mind my own business. And that's what I've been doing for the last, except for having too many stamps. That's what I've been doing for that. For the last few years. You guys take it easy.
Did you ever tell them how many stamps you actually have?
No, I don't. $600 worth of stamps.
he recognizes the fact that he can't have them, and we're not going to let him have them.
Part of Randy Collins' problem is his neighbours. He doesn't find their company challenging enough.
So I applied my time with legal endeavors. I've been involved in a lot of legal, civil and criminal, both court proceedings. I've achieved an associate's degree in business admin. I've got a paralegal certification. I have over 600 certificates of completions of Bible studies, emergency management, anger control, substance abuse. Basically, there's nothing left for me to do. Now I'm really bored.
When Randy Collins gets bored, he starts thinking. Eventually, he managed to think his way out of prison.
Randy was able to facilitate his release by some of the shortcomings that we had in our communications between the courts and our paperwork here. We're all human. We can all make mistakes. Randy sought out our weaknesses and expanded upon them and actually engineered his own release.
Legally, I didn't escape. The statute says that a person unlawfully flees lawful detention, and that's not what occurred in my case. I was actually released, given gauge money, $75, and a card that said stamped released across the front of it, and I was escorted out to my car.
No one at Wabash Valley had ever achieved freedom before it was due, but Collins did just that. He was facing a 30-year sentence for running cocaine from Miami to Indiana, but somehow the official documentation from the court notifying the prisoner of his jail term was amended. Randy won't say how this happened, but it now read he was to serve just 10 years, with the remaining 20 years suspended. He then patiently served out the 10 years and was officially released.
What he was able to do was resubmit a sentencing document in his packet, which we followed up on and did in fact release him.
His guess was that I knew someone, that I sold drugs to someone, or that I knew someone that worked in the clerk's office, because otherwise, without someone working in the clerk's office, the documents couldn't have had a court seal, and they did, and that's why they were taken as being legitimate.
Randy Collins denies that he had a plant in the court,
Exactly,
and no one's ever proved that he did. But even Randy can't think of another way the scam could have worked.
No, I can't. No.
Sure about that?
I'm sure about that. I can't think of any other way other than someone in the clerk's office actually affixing the seal, conspiring with someone to affix the seal to those particular documents. I don't know who all has access to that particular seal.
I think Randy enjoyed himself immensely, and I think we owe him a debt of gratitude to a certain degree. He's heightened our alertness to this sort of thing, and we're going to see that it don't happen again.
Several hours after I was released, I was on a plane to Las Vegas. My wife and I were married the very next day. We stayed out there for 4 days and came back and went to a Reba McEntire concert, actually, after my arrival back to Indianapolis. And I have an older daughter who lives in this area, and she said that she had witnessed a TV story saying that I had escaped from the Wabash Valley Correctional Facility. At that point, then I left the residence and was staying other places for the 3 weeks until finally I was caught at my residence.
He has my attention because of his activities, yes. But do I consider him getting under my skin? No, he makes my job very interesting, and he makes it very challenging. Sometimes we deal with things in here that are what I call a sloppy criminal, and no, I enjoy working around Randy. I don't have any problems with him at all, trust me.
So the secured housing unit is where I'm guessing the reason why he's in there is why they watch him closer. So in turn, that is where Richard Allen will be housed in turn, which is why that was pointed out. You know what I mean? But then all of that stuff that we were reading through here about the secured housing unit, it's not real. There's not a lot of humanity, guys.
As I look in here now, and I'm sitting in here and see what some people went through, and I think to myself, why did I blow what I had? Because I had everything. Why did I blow? Look what they went through. What would I have done if I were in their shoes? I never thought that before, and now I think that. So, I mean, it's just amazing some of the backgrounds that some people come from. I can understand why they committed some crimes. I can't understand why I didn't myself.
Brad Catt has fallen a long way from the very public stage he once strode as a county prosecutor in Indiana. He now lives surrounded by many of the people.
I think he's just going to be in the secured housing unit daily.
When you first go into prison, especially because that I was a prosecutor, you're the enemy.
which I understand that. And I would think the same if my prosecutor walked in the door. I would be not happy to see him, I'm sure. So when they first see you, they're skeptical. Is he in? Which side's he on? He's an inmate now, but how did you like it when you were causing people to be put in here?
Cat from library.
Brad Catt's life in prison is a world away from the jet-setting lifestyle he once enjoyed. Gone are the high-rolling jaunts to Las Vegas and the Caribbean. But he has also lost the respect of his community and his profession.
He's checking the books that I'm bringing in to make sure nothing's in it, and now they have to search me in the holding cell again.
The former county prosecutor's life was changed forever when he was sentenced in 1996 to 30 years in prison on multiple counts of forgery and theft. Catt's crime was stealing more than $700,000 US from his private practice clients. Brad Catt now works in the prison as a law library clerk. Today he's distributing books in the CCU unit, where inmates are locked down while they await disciplinary hearings.
Okay. There's your 3 notes. You're welcome. The hardest part is going to prison with people that you actually personally prosecute. I mean, that's hard. You're apprehensive. You don't know how it's going to be. Because the rape I had to go to a level 4 facility. Well, initially put me in a level 4 facility for forgery, Class C felony, and D felony, multiple counts, in with people that I prosecuted for murder or whatever. It didn't make sense to anybody, but there was no choice.
There's not a day that goes by that Brad Catt doesn't regret the temptation that got the better of him.
It was like robbing Peter to pay Paul. They called, I'd steal from one account and then steal from another to pay back the first account. That's how I did it. And it just snowballed. I got to the point where I said enough's enough, and I just stopped doing it and planned on that was it. And that was it.
The former county prosecutor has been on a turbulent emotional journey as he's confronted the shame he feels about his crimes.
My bad period was when I was getting arrested. But after I got that over with, it was a relief to me that part was finally over. All the concealment, because my crime involved concealing all the concealment, all the lies that I had to conceal for like a 3 or 4 year period. So after I got arrested and got this part started, I didn't have the depression periods that a lot of people have. Mine was before I got arrested. And I tried to kill myself in a car wreck, but that was the worst part.
Society may have turned its back on Brad Catt, but his family hasn't.
Have a seat in the second row, the 3rd table back.
I have tremendous support from my family and
Already hear that. Okay.
That stuck by me the whole time. I have probably average of 3 visits a week at least, more on holidays. So I have a lot of visits. It's nice. My mother, she never has missed since I've been in for 3 years now, even in federal prison when I was in Ashland, Kentucky, which is real far away. She never misses. She always brings different people with her, so I never know who exactly is going to be with her, but she always comes.
Visiting time is the most important part of Brad Catt's week, and the closest he ever comes to contact with the outside world.
Yeah, I hear her. She's singing. Well, Kayla, it's her teeth. Grace. Oh, got them off. Good. I'm still going to eat.
Okay, ready? You want to eat now?
Yeah.
We have to eat before we do anything else.
One of the best parts about visiting room is the food.
Chicken wings?
Yep. My favorite in here is the hot chicken wings. I generally eat a couple of them each time I visit, or if there's something else good. But I like Mountain Dews, which we can't order in commissary, so I always try to get the things in here that we can't get otherwise. The chicken wings are probably everybody's favorite. We're not allowed to handle the money, but we can handle the food. So your visitor has to handle the money and get the items for you, and then we can cook them ourselves. So they know if I don't come and get something to eat right when I get here, something's wrong. Anything that messes with your visit, forgetting to call you out, or anything that interferes with that really upsets an inmate. I think that's one of the prime things in here. Not my favorite.
Brian can't come Sunday. Sunday, do you want Connie to come ahead on Sunday? To wait till the next Sunday. Just want to be sure.
Brad Catt has more visits than any other inmate in the prison, and they're his social highlight. They help to maintain his emotional balance.
Y'all stuck together.
That's what families do here, is stick together. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but if you don't, you're in trouble.
Thank you, sir.
I think visits should be primary importance, not just for the inmates, but for the institution itself, because that's what keeps people connected. If they leave with no hope, then it's more likely they're going to be right back here. Look, he's making fun of you. He's making fun of you. He's making fun of you.
The radical turnaround in Brad Catt's fortunes, from putting people in prison to being imprisoned himself, has altered his attitudes towards sentencing.
Yeah, I did bring that up.
Society wouldn't, punish people, longer sentences, better sentences. I used to think 10-year sentence wasn't that long. Now I know it's an eternity. I would think different of recommending a 20-year sentence for someone or something now that I know what 20 years really is. A year in prison is nothing what I thought it was. It's a lot longer. A year in prison is, I would never dream it's as long as it is.
I ain't got nobody to lean on. Got nobody to lean on. I ain't got nobody, man. I'm tired, man. I'm just small, I can't carry it. Sometimes I want to cut myself. I ain't never told you that. Man, I'm tired, man.
It's been a long time since you've done that, too.
It's been 13, 14 years. I don't want to do it no more. Well, I'm trying to show y'all I can get out of here in peace.
Yeah, you show us.
Double murderer Brian Griggs is a paranoid schizophrenic. He's just one of the 38 mentally disturbed inmates housed in the facility's residential treatment unit, K Block.
But my mom, man, she shouldn't do me like this, man. My brother shot his son and killed his son. He blew his neck off. And I shoot 2 people and she hates me. But she don't hate him because he killed his son. She don't hate him. I called her, she cussed me out. Told me to stop calling. Told me to stop calling. She don't want to hear from me no more. Stop writing.
Everybody out there have a party.
For most of these folks, their difficulties have been ignored mostly throughout their lives. They've not had anyone consider them, say, as anything other than a criminal.
Come on, man.
The crimes are largely irrelevant to the reason they were placed on the unit. Their mental illness is the primary criteria. Now, there also is another expectation that they are in need of maximum security confinements.
The war inside Brian.
And that's why they need to be in a hospital. These people need to be in a hospital, in my opinion, not a prison, folks. Completely different. They need different rehabilitation. They need different. They just need to be looked at in different ways, guys. This is what I don't like about this.
Griggs' head began when he was just 15 years old. He says he heard voices telling him he was the devil and began mutilating himself.
And I was real suicidal. I wanted to die. I just did this when I was 15. Some of these cuts came from like this cut, that cut, this cut, and that cut, and that right there I did when I was 15.
Diagnosed at 15 as a paranoid schizophrenic, Brian Griggs has been fighting those voices ever since. His illness makes him feel as if there are 2 personalities and 2 voices constantly at war in his head.
So I tell the voices, I come back to myself, I say, hey, voice, now you listen here to me. I'm talking, this Griggs, I'm talking to Brian is the voice. So you know, Brian is my first name. I got a twin that look like me on the street, and I got a twin in me. That's Brian. Brian is my twin. Griggs is his supposed, you know, someone I trying to explain the best I can. But Brian be telling Griggs what to do, and Griggs be trying kind of weak.
It very much is. It's very
As he battled his demons, Griggs turned to drug trafficking to earn some fast money. This proved to be his downfall when his girlfriend got designs on his money and hired a hitman.
She got me whooped one when this dude hit me in the jaw with a cutter, and I got it in my mouth. Dude hit me in the jaw with a 38 and broke my jaw over because she had paid the student to whoop me. When I came to the house, well, I got my coat on. Her mother shot me in the arm with a 22, and it came out on the side, and she shot me in the leg with a 38. And they was taking my money. You know, I had plenty of money. I had like $26,000 in the bank. Plus, I had 2 cars. I had my own house. Paid for my own house. Paid for my own cars. A lot of things happened between us. You know, they shot me, and I shot them and cut their head off and put it in the microwave.
Griggs was initially placed in solitary confinement in the SHU. But after 2.5 years, his mental problems were recognized, and he was transferred here to the psych unit for intensive treatment.
Some people who were in the SHU who were highly assaultive and could not be communicated with, they were self-injurious. They've had just remarkable turnarounds on the right medicine, reteaching the social skills, and doing the psychotherapy and rehab groups with these folks has really given them the chance to turn their lives around in prison.
Griggs is now allowed to work in the prison kitchen alongside other prisoners. This is part of the psych unit's program of stabilizing prisoners' mental health to the point where they can eventually be allowed back into the general prison population.
The job is real good. It gets me off the joint. When I'm upset at something, it make that upsetness, that emotion I have, it makes it go away because I can move steel parts.
Not as many as they should have.
Mop the floor and get that madness all off me. I love my dog. All right, you want to talk now, Carl?
Well, it's cold outside, you know. Cold out there.
A crucial figure in Brian Griggs' life is Carl Wigginton.
About 20, 25 minutes and it's cold out there.
You were freezing your ass off, wasn't you? Yeah, you cold. It was cold. Yeah. That's you cold, man. Yeah, I'm cold. All of a sudden, I met Carl. That's all I needed to meet. He told me that he cared. He helped me. He advised me. And I listened to him. And he's a good dude. The dude is real good. I want everybody to know this. He's a real good person. I love him. I love him like a female. I love him like he's a female. And sometimes I'm the female. We verses. He's one.
2:20, about time for the goal. When we walk out through the door.
Carl Wigginton is sentenced to prison until the year 20.
Feel like, I wouldn't have to do this time alone.
To talk to, a lot of times, the human brain repairs itself in a lot of cases, and if you just give it a process to go through, that bidding process is healing in and of itself, knowing that somebody else is there to listen, who cares, and can lend a supportive ear.
This is what Griggs needs at the moment. He's suddenly become paranoid about his relationship with Carl.
Yeah.
Okay, what's up?
Man, Carl has complicated problems. You know what it's about. I'm hurt. And I'm tired of hurting over this dude. And he wanted space. He wanted space. Opportunity. I'm gonna give him space. I'm tired.
I didn't sorry, I didn't think that part of that was relevant to any of this. So, but there's that. Okay. And thank you for that, by the way, guys. That was sent to me. All right, where are we at now? We're at 2 hours. We're a good deal. Very interesting, though. And like I said, knowing all of that stuff, it was in regards to MK. That was just a documentary about the prison that Richard Allen was just transferred to. Before you came in, we had talked about, I went over some documents that had some talk about the issues that they have in the segregation units there, okay, or the secured housing unit, which is where Richard Allen would be transferred into for being to be watched per se, because of his scenario. Okay, now one thing I didn't want to pull up here. One moment, please. Hold on a second here. Oh, Lord, I forgot. It may not let me do it. Come on. Try it this way. Where is it? Okay. Are you still in here, Sleuth? Or did you bounce out? I noticed a lot of people did. Must not be. Yeah, I agree with that one, Vicky. I really do. Let me see something here. I cannot access it this way. Damn it. Okay. Grr. Oh, damn. I do agree, Vic. Do agree. All right, then let's pull this up instead. May not be able to do the whole what I was gonna do today, but I will get it up. All right, here. Hold on. Thank you guys that have stuck through that. I know it's a bit boring, but it does explain a lot. Okay, now this is the other thing I was going to show. Pull this up and show you. Yep, hold on. Now, here we go. All right. So we looked at this document already. Okay. This is what I showed you guys first. My question is, what was the deciding factor to move him? Here, the blanket term safety, but safety from whom? Safety from what? Well, and that's a good question, CL. They're saying that he was like right here. Richard Allen was placed under a safekeeping order by this court on November 3rd of last year, not this year, which is the day that they sent him to prison. Okay, which was directly after he was arrested. Okay. Good morning and welcome back, Nat Cat. Great to see you. So ever since then, he has been basically in segregation, in my opinion. Are you going to bed, Sherry? Or are you going to bed, 84? Oh, it looks like 84 is. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so that question is very good. My question is, what was the deciding factor to move him? I hear the blanket statement. Right. I agree. I don't know if it was because of all of the people complaining about the situation. A lot of people feel that way, Josie. A lot. You know, the jails aren't safe either, and I agree with that, Vicky, but this is like sitting a gas can next to a bonfire and just hoping that it doesn't get hot enough to ignite. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's more of an issue with it. So, keyword available space. Yeah. You're putting Richard Allen through. I'll go back and watch the documentary you're showing. It's very interesting. It is. It is. And Salty, thank you for sending that. I think Salty said she found it in with Sleuthy. Sleuthy has a bunch of stuff on this as well. So, very much. But like I said, we did look at this already. And again, guys, if you look at this, okay, this is what got me freaked out immediately. And when I started getting involved in this case, what I noticed, looking at these two people here, they literally look like two different people. I mean, we know it's him. It's obvious, okay? But you can see you can just see. Attorney General. Okay, Richard Allen was being housed at Westville Correctional Facility in November. Motion filed by the defense outlined how the DOC officers were members of Odinism right. Attorney General orders Richard Allen to be transferred to Wabash Valley. And the order was yes. Oops, sorry. So, let's see here. Let me back this up a little bit, you guys. Sorry about that. 1 second. And we have now again, as we just spoke to it, this is where Keegan Klein is being housed right now. It's at the same prison, okay? And he was brought into this case early on. For those of you that aren't familiar, it says investigators revealed Klein used at least 5 fake social media profiles to solicit sexually graphic pictures and videos from children. Prosecutors identified 6 children, but say there are dozens, maybe hundreds more. Klein's fake profiles hit police radar when his fake social media account, Anthony Shots, that's where that started. And that's how this guy relates to this case because of this whole other thing that he had. So, and like I said, this, for those of you that aren't familiar, that's Keegan Klein. Oh, I should probably show you, huh? Thought I had this up here. Sorry. Here we go. That would be the man, or the whatever he is, the monster, I call him. This guy, it's just, this guy's sick. And he's in that facility, like I said. And he's listed as being in maximum security at the Wabash Valley Correctional Facility near Sullivan. And he's, I'm sure because of his crimes, that he's in segregation as well, okay, for his protection, because you know what happens to people that do this kind of stuff when they go to prison. Almost looks like he's been poisoned, heavy metals. And does his hands look contorted? Yeah, I noticed that too, that his hands always look like that when he's being led through. It's kind of crazy. Absolutely, Doodle. August 2020, Klein was charged with 30 felonies, including possession of child pornography, child exploitation, obstruction of justice, child solicitation, and synthetic identity deception, according to online court records, and that's where he was convicted and put. And again, this guy is in for all of that, okay? This guy right here is in for all of that. Richard Allen hasn't been convicted of anything. Nothing. How does that weigh? They're probably going to be around somewhere in the same unit area because of segregation, okay? That's my thought. I'm not positive, but I'm going to say that that's the thought. It's insane, you guys. It really is insane. That's all I can say about that, honestly. Does anybody have any thoughts that they'd like to share tonight on any of this? Anybody? If so, there's a link. Come on up and let's talk about it. We got a little bit of time left here. Definitely. I'm not going to be able to pull up that document. I can't get it to come up, so I'm going to have to get it in another format. So we won't be doing that tonight, but we will be doing it soon. Unfortunately. I want you guys to read through that with me. That's the thing. And it was getting later. It's like 11:30, so she probably had to take off anyhow. It's so sad. This is wrong. Convicted prisoners. No, I agree, MK. I do. I definitely agree. Something's way off with that. There are main arteries in your wrist. They are being strangled off in those cuffs. Therefore, he's not getting proper. Well, that's probably another part to it. But there's things that are way deeper than that, Carolyn, that are going on over there. I'm telling you. Oh, my God. We got 97 likes. We need 3 more, guys. Hit me up. Give me them likes so we can get this in the algorithm. Come on. You can do it. Please, please. So like I said, we got 98 now. Couple more. Thank you so much, Miss Sherry. Like I said, you guys have seen what this man looked like before and after. And now they take him to another prison at which they're putting him in segregation because of the scenario where he probably is going to be treated. We don't know yet, but he could be going from bad to worse. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, Gary. No problem. It happens to the best of us. And we are at 100 likes, and I'm hoping this gets us out there. Somebody just hit it. It's okay, party. I appreciate it. No matter what number you were, I appreciate you. And that's another thing, too, that you guys got to understand. And I don't want this to be read the wrong way or to be taken the wrong way either. And Doodle has a great point. Yes, we can't baby them either. It's such a hard thing to discuss. That's a fact and very hard to explain. Because we do have to go back to the one main reason why we do this. Abby and Libby. Okay? Abby and Libby, the victims, deserve real justice in this. Okay? As much as we talk about how Richard Allen's being treated and what's going on in that scenario, that is the main reason why we're here, you guys, is because of those 2 girls and their families. Thank you so much for that, Brandy. Anybody that has donated to those links there, please understand how appreciative I am of that. It is definitely not something expected, but it is more than appreciated. It's what pays my bills and keeps me rolling. So thank you all so much for that. I appreciate you and love you so much. So that is what the main reason for us to be here for. That's what I'm saying. The voice for the voiceless. These girls can't tell us what happened or who did it or why. Okay. And they deserve real justice, folks. Absolutely. Okay. That's why we're doing this. End of story. But he also deserves a fair trial, and he deserves to be treated as a human being because, once again, innocent till proven guilty. It's the Constitution, you guys. And we have to go by that. We have to know that. We have to understand that. And the way this is going, it does not look like this man's going to make it to his trial. And I know I'm not the only one that sees this, okay? That's the other side of it right there. If he is unalived or somehow passes away due to his own whatever, there is no justice for them. That's why we have to ensure that he's being treated the way he should be being treated as a human being and as an inmate of, the Indiana State Correctional Facilities. Period. There's laws and they're not being abided by. Now, we can say we hope that now that he's transferred to this other place that things are going to be different, but I don't think they will be. I don't think they will be. That's my opinion, and it doesn't mean much more, which weighs more, And that's the thing right there. The man hasn't been convicted. Nothing has been proven in court, and a jury of his peers has not connected him to the crime, and he just goes to prison. It's a horrific thing. That's the problem. They're saying that they're putting him in prison, which I still don't understand this. They're putting him in prison for his safety. We read a document that stated that they put him in prison for the safety of the governmental workers. This just doesn't, none of this falls in line with what it's supposed to be. You accuse somebody of a crime. They go sit in the county jail if they're not bonded out, and there's no bond for this crime. So they sit in the county jail, and as they're going to court, things progress and progress and progress. And then there's the hearings, and then we have a trial. Then they're either convicted or not convicted of the crime. They're convicted, they go to prison. If they're not, they go home. None of these things have happened in this case. Not at all like this, okay? Like they're supposed to. Walt Harris, what's going on? Good to see you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Do not worry about it, Party 5. I don't ever need you to explain. It's never, ever an issue. You're awesome, Walt. I appreciate that so very much. And congrats to that, my friend. He is a human being, and he should be treated as one, not a rabid dog. That's fact. You know, and like I said, if the man is not eating, we've said this time and time again, I would be afraid to eat that food as well. I definitely would. CL says it's a bad precedence that they set. Now anyone that gets arrested can go straight to prison if they say it is for their safety. And yeah, I understand. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that, CL. It doesn't make any sense. Not at all. Thanks so much, Walt. I appreciate you very much. Very, very much, my friend. This is just, none of this makes any sense to me, you guys. None of it. So nobody wants to jump up and talk about this tonight. I understand. No worries. I will be live at my normal time tomorrow, folks. So thank you all for understanding that. Okay, let me see here. Let me check something real quick. All right, give me a second, guys. 1 second, everybody. My apologies. I wanted to find something else I was looking at too real quick here. You know, I don't know, MK. That's a good question. I don't know if that had been denied. If anybody does know that about Richard Allen's family visiting him, let me know, please, if you can. I would love to know that. So this was upon motion by the sheriff, prosecuting attorney, defendant, or his counsel, attorney general, and or court, alleging that an inmate in a county jail awaiting trial is in danger of serious. Oh, this is from stands with the safety of others. The court shall determine whether or not. Gotcha. Okay. I was hoping that I could pull up that Frank's document, and I didn't get the chance to. I wanted to go over that with you, and I'm still going to. There's also overcrowding or inadequacy of local penal facilities. So yeah. Lord. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get. And guys, you should know, Bob Motto and the Defense Diaries did a show on this. It could be wrong. I thought someone said that on another channel. They haven't communicated. See, that's what I was told too. And I think I heard Bob say that as well. For those of you that aren't familiar, the Defense Diaries with Bob Motto. I love Bob. If you haven't gone there, please do. If we can drop Bob's link here. See, somebody, if one of the mods could drop it. My Jamama, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. But please go over and check out the Defense Diaries with Bob Motto. He talks a lot about this stuff and makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I would love to have him here at least once to come in and explain it all to you in his terms. Okay. He's been at the hearings, folks, and he covers it on a regular, and he's really good. He's very, very down to earth, but he's a great, great, great person at what he does. Could one of the mods drop the link for the Defense Diaries with Bob Motto, please? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Leslie. That's why I watch his stuff. His wife and him both. I mean, they're amazing. They really, really are. Yeah, and he has come out multiple times and stated what he feels as far as Richard Allen. I cannot say that I don't disagree with him, guys, in a lot of senses. Or that I disagree with him. I'm sorry, I said that the wrong way. My apologies. Yeah, I don't have the obvious, the legal knowledge that Bob has. I wish I did, but they did transfer him to Mama. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you very much for that. I put it up for you guys. We have one in the living room too. There it is. Thank you, Sherry. That is the link to the Defense Diaries with Bob Motto. Him and his wife are amazing people. They cover this case and they cover, other stuff too. Just please go show some love to him. If you have not yet subscribed, do that and check out some of his stuff, guys. It's great. It really is great. And I'm sorry to disappoint anybody. I have a tree. I have 3, one in each room. Okay. We have one in here, one in the living room. There's one on my front porch and one on my garage. Oh, we have one in my bathroom too. Sorry. And on my back porch. Don't they travel? Yes, they do. Jamama, they absolutely do. There's the link again, guys, if you haven't seen it yet. Thank you both, Brandy and Sherry. I appreciate you both. So, like I said, I have a very high respect for Bob. I've learned a lot of stuff from him as well. And I trust him probably more than in what he says, more than anybody out here. And like I said, I know Sleuthy goes with everything he goes with as well. She learns a lot from him. So therefore, we follow Sleuthy too, so it's kind of a chain. And that's where I put him, guys, because he's great. He really is. Thank you, Vicky. Guys, please go check him out. Tell him I sent you and let him know, we're just showing the love and the respect because he deserves it. Let me see here. I'm trying to find something else there since I can't pull up the. Oh, yeah, Jamama, for sure. Trying to find something here. Where is it, though? 1 second. Yeah, I really want to go over that Frank's document with you guys. I can't pull it up right now. I will get it together and we're going to cover it for sure because you guys are really going to see why there's such a big deal made about this. Thank you, Gary. All of you guys, thank you guys that subscribe to Bob because he really deserves it. He puts in a lot of hard work. Oh, Leslie, don't worry about that, dear. Christmas is Christmas. We all know how that goes. I know where your heart is, and that's all that matters. Where is that other document I was trying to find, and I can't find it? Lord. Not there. I guess not. Okay. Absolutely. Yes. Bob did the update earlier tonight about the movie. Had a lot to say, and they don't understand who or why the movie was ordered. Right. See? The only way the wife can speak to him is if he calls her and no. And see, it tells me that they probably haven't let him do it. He has to call her. She can't call into the prison, obviously. That's not how that works. Thank you for that, Party 5. Yeah, he's gotten letters. I've heard that as well. Here, maybe I can show you guys some of this stuff. 1 second here. I want you guys to hear his take on this. 1 second here. All right. Give me one more. Okay, I found what I was looking for. That's what I saw too, Blah. Good to see you, Blah. Thank you for being here. Here, we can review this together. Because like I said, this is where the knowledge is from, in my opinion. I think we all watch this guy. He's really good. I have so much respect for him. All right, at this point where he picked it up, what I remember is where I was really following.
Alleging that an inmate in a county jail awaiting trial. So, like, just let's read it. Upon motion by, in this case, the Attorney General, alleging that an inmate in a county jail awaiting trial is in danger of serious bodily injury or death, or represents a substantial threat to the safety of others, the court shall determine whether the inmate is in imminent danger of serious bodily injury or death, or represents a substantial threat to the safety of others. Now, we know, because what we looked at first was not a motion. That was a notice. That was a notice just saying, hey, we moved Richard Allen yesterday. We're just letting you all know. So they're not following the procedure. I mean, we can see that right away. So there's no motion that's been filed by the Attorney General. There's no court that has determined that he should have been moved. So basically the AG just ran a power move here and moved Allen on his own accord.
And see, that's the part I'm talking about. That's his you know, how he summarizes this, and I agree with him. I mean, and I don't know. He knows way more than anybody about this stuff, so that's why I go with it. Thank you, Brandy, for that.
And then it says, if the court finds that the inmate is in danger of serious bodily injury or death, or represents a substantial threat to the safety of others, it shall order the sheriff to transfer the inmate to another county jail or to a facility of the Department of Correction designated by the commissioner of the department and suitable for the confinement of that prisoner. So there's the language. They pulled that language exactly as suitable for the confinement of that prisoner and provided that space is available. That is what they're saying pursuant to that language, but that's not the action portion of the statute. That's not, like, they didn't make the finding that he's in either danger of serious bodily injury or death, which that's what we're going to talk about afterwards. So they use that language in there. And then for the purpose of this chapter, an inmate is not considered in danger of serious bodily injury or death due to an illness or a medical condition. So as far as that last sentence, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not this move was in order to get Richard moved so that he can get some proper mental health treatment. To me, that last sentence basically takes that concept out of play, because I think that mental health would fall under illness or medical condition. And I don't think that would be something that they would move him for, which leaves us with this top portion, which is that he was in danger of serious bodily injury or death, or the part that I don't think applies either, which represents a substantial threat to the safety of others. He's in 23 hours SAG.
So he's locked down 23 hours out of 24 a day. He's allowed out for 1 hour a day, rec, whatever it is, rec, shower, however they do that at that place. Okay. But the way this was coded, that he was in some form of imminent dangers, from what I understood. Okay. I don't know. But if you're in prison, you're in segregation, 24 hours, 23 hours a day, you're not around other inmates in the prison. Where's the danger at? What is the danger from? You see what I'm saying? That's what gets me, like, it makes you think.
The guy's not in Gen Pop. He's not walking around. He's not a threat to anybody. So as far as I'm concerned, the way that I read this morning, my initial instinct was like, wow. So they moved him without a court hearing. And frankly, this would have had to go in front of Gull, and I don't know if Gull is back on the bench.
And that's the thing. A judge would have to sign off on this, I would think. You can't just do this. Okay. So how'd that work out? You know, like he just said, we knew that she was sick. She was off. Other judges were signing off and handling a lot of her casework and stuff like that. So what's going on?
I don't know if she is healed up from whatever her ailment was, but you know, I think that, you know, this was a move that was made with this thing pending in the Supreme Court of Indiana. And I think, like, in my estimation, the way that I felt about it, and I was texting with Kara Weineke, who wrote the, you know, helped on the first original action and drafted the second one with Mark Lehman. You know, this morning, I'm like, look, do you think that this was some kind of statement by the AG, in the sense that we know that Gull had stated in her bullet points, and that McClellan had stated in open court, that with respect to Baldwin and Rosie's petition to get him moved under the Safekeeping Act, that they lied. So Gull said, I don't think that she used the exact word lied, but I think that she said that they made misrepresentations. McClellan flat out said in open court that they lied in this thing. So you've got that hanging out there. You've got that concept that everything that Baldwin and Rosie were saying with respect to his prisoner of war type conditions that he's being housed in were untrue, you know, and she based that on a warden coming in and making self-serving statements on the stand, you know, about, like, and I've said it on multiple lives, like, anybody who thinks that a warden of a prison is going to come into open court and make admissions to, you know, to wrongdoing that's going on in his prison is dreaming. Like, it's never happening. It opens up the prisons to massive 1983 civil rights claims. It's like, that would never happen. So of course he's going to get on the stand. He's going to deny anything that they're alleging. And again, Baldwin and Rosie aren't taking tours of Westville. They asked, they were denied, and they are basically, as I talked about it the other night, they're ushered into a conference room, a small room, and Rick's brought in there, and then they have their meeting, or they don't, because they're being filmed with some dude, you know, with a camcorder.
And I don't know if you guys knew that. I had heard that before, that Baldwin and Rosie wanted to kind of get a tour of the Westview prison and so on and so forth to see what was going on. They were told no. I don't know if that's just a standard, like, you know, no, that can't happen, or if they were specifically told no for a reason, you know, and it makes you wonder. It's interesting. Makes me wonder. Yeah, good point. What danger could he be in my opinion? The danger of the prison officials is how I see it. It sounds like a lot of Odins or wannabes or Indiana. I hate corruption, and I agree with you on that one, dear. I think we all hate corruption, and we see a lot of it lately. We've seen a lot of it, guys, you know, in a lot of senses. Why is the governor stepping in? You know, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, Party. That's a question I would actually like to ask Bob myself. Why has the governor not looked at this and said, hey, what's going on with this scenario? You know what I mean?
So as far as that goes, you know, where it kind of lays with me is that I believe that, to me, this was some kind of veiled message from the AG that I think in some ways attacks the judge's statement that she thought that they were misrepresenting what was going on in that jail. I mean, when you're using this particular portion of the statute, when they didn't follow it, they didn't procedurally follow the statute, they didn't file a motion, they didn't go in front of the judge, they just moved them and then gave notice that they moved them. Now, again, this could be a situation wherein they could, that this is commonplace, that they'll move. They don't actually go to hearing often, and then they'll move people if they have to move them, and that this is seen as a formality, or maybe not. Like I asked Kara, she didn't necessarily know the answer. I asked Shay as well, and he wasn't really clear on it.
Good to know, Leslie. Thank
either. You. And frankly, in terms of this kind of aspect, it's collateral to your representation to your client. Like, you're trying to deal with the underlying case. And right now you've got Brad and Andy that are sitting on the sidelines wondering if they're going to get back in the case. And you've got his attorneys, his current attorneys, that from what I've heard have not done much at this point. Not that I blame them. I mean, they're sitting in limbo as well. I think probably if I was in that situation, I would be probably not diving into the case. I'd probably be waiting out to see what the Supreme Court's going to decide before I start putting in a huge amount of hours working on a case that I'm not 100% certain that I'm going to be actually.
I don't know I think that the warden would have to answer to the prison system for the state. I think there's a board that governs like all the prisons in the state. So I think that's who the warden has to kind of look to in that sense, but it's definitely not the governor. That I did know. Jody, have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate you. These are good questions. These are great questions, Party.
Trying the case. So, like I'm not trying to cast shade on those guys for not doing anything, but, I don't think that they've been very active with respect to the case so far, where he would ask, is my family okay? Is my family okay? Now,
after that, as you see that they're listed a post-transfer hearing, Section 2, IC 35-3311-2. The inmate or receiving authority is entitled to a post-transfer hearing upon request. The inmate may refuse a transfer if the only issue is his personal safety. That's interesting to me. It really is.
Okay, is my wife okay? So it's like people acting like the footnote was there without any kind of substance behind it, I think is a little disingenuous, because if they read the memo, they saw that he was saying things like, is my wife okay? Like as soon as they would come in, they said he was kind of mumbling and incoherent when he was asking it. So, we've got
mumbling and incoherent. I mean, we've looked at this man and can tell that something's not right. So, and he's asking, why is he asking if his wife is okay? Were things said to him, in an intimidation factor to make him fear that something could happen with his wife? Is that something that has been used against him? I don't know, but these are things that make you wonder if that's going on.
All these things kind of working together, and I'm not to the point where I'm always concerned. I've been concerned throughout my entire career about my clients in jail, awaiting trial, especially in a high profile case. It's a scary proposition. And the fact of the matter is that, people that don't have experience with prisons, that don't understand what goes on in prisons, which I'm assuming is a vast majority of you.
Yeah.
Assuming that a vast majority of you have neither been to prison as an inmate,
I think most
or a convicted felon,
unless you've
or that you're not an attorney that has been into a prison, specifically defense attorneys.
I can believe that, Leslie. I absolutely.
Prosecutors are very rarely going to prisons. Maybe there's some circumstances, but defense attorneys are in there quite a bit. Or you work in one. If you're not familiar with what goes on in prisons, and you find.
Okay, so it's a federal level, then the Federal Bureau of Prison Directors, not a state level. I'm sure there's a state level, and then would be the federal side, the governmental level. So I get that. Thank you, Vicky. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I certainly thought of that too. It's not lost on me, but he may be guilty, but something is bizarre about this situation. That's exactly how I feel, Party of Five. Exactly how I feel. Like I said, I never said that I thought this man was innocent. Okay. He's got it. We know who he is. for some reason. He's involved somewhere down there. Somehow or another, this guy's involved in this somewhere. I don't know how or what. Okay, but the way this is all unfolded is just so off, and it just doesn't make any sense. Not to mention the period of time from the moment that the crime happened until he was arrested. That's another thing. That's another issue for me. That's a long time for this to go unanswered. And then all of a sudden, boom, we got this guy, and boom, 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 boom. All these things could fall into succession afterwards within this short period of time after a 6-year wait before the crime is solved per se. It's interesting. Thank you though, Vicky. I appreciate that.
Very it hard to believe that guards would be trying to intimidate people into, especially in a pretrial case, into confessing to crimes, especially crimes that have befallen two beautiful.
Yeah, Keegan Kline is in that same prison, and it's a 3.5-hour drive in a car from where he was there and back. So that's a 7-hour road trip whenever he's got to go to court. And for the people that go visit him, it's 7 hours, guys. That's a whole day. Okay. I don't even know, Todd. I haven't had the chance to look into that yet, but I'm going to for sure.
The little girls, you're just not being realistic, because prisons are not a pleasant place. Like you just need to understand that. They are a violent atmosphere. They are filled with angry people. They're filled with violent people. They're filled with guards who have little to no regard for the people that are being housed there, and it's just a very dangerous environment. And
that's fact. It's fact. They're not going to care why you're there, or that you don't think that you shouldn't be there. It's not that they don't care why you're there. They don't care that you feel that you shouldn't be there. They don't care what you say about being innocent. It's a rough place. It's a really rough place, folks. Very, very rough.
Strong. I don't know, but call me crazy, or call me an experienced lawyer. Like, it just, they know where there's going to be blind spots where cameras aren't going to see. That's where the dirty deeds take place all the time. So it's like, that whole part of it, I don't know, and to be honest with you, when you have a kid, like, let's just pretend, just for the purposes of an exercise, let's just pretend that Rick Allen's actually innocent. Okay. Like, just imagine, if you would, like, if you're on the guilty side, just suspend disbelief for a second. So, okay, just let your mind get to, like, this guy's innocent. Okay. And he's sitting in prison now. At this point, he was in Westville for over a year. Now he's been transferred to another prison. He's in solitary 23 hours a day. Whatever they may or may not be doing to him, it's still prison. He's got no human contact. And we know that he's not getting his mail. So what they do, and to answer your question about the mail, is they're cutting him off from every source of any kind of support.
Any kind of support, right?
Like the only time that Kathy Allen's ever hearing from Rick Allen is when he calls her, and like he's just not getting the mail. And you're asking how and why? Well, that's the why, to continue to psychologically torture him by removing any semblance of a support system.
Because if he's not receiving mail from his wife or anybody else that would send it to him, it's going to make him feel like it's a psychological warfare scenario, that they don't care, that they're not supporting him. Therefore, they're not writing to him. Okay. And then he's not calling. I'm sure that there's another instance behind that breaks that down as well. But, it's psychological warfare. It tears him apart. Why is my wife why am I not getting letters from my wife and kids? Why am I not why are my mom and dad or my parents not writing me this? Why are they not this? Why is this not going? And it's messing with his head. It's making him feel like, a certain type of way that he shouldn't be. Like, he has no support, no family, nobody that cares. You know what I mean? It's a horrible thing, guys. It really is. And again, these are not the way. This is not the way that these things should happen, whether this man's innocent or guilty. Okay. I will do that, Todd, for sure.
And again, that's why I'm asking you to put your brain in a place where, imagine if you were innocent, sitting in that condition for a year, and they've cut you off to the entire world. You know, the only people that you see are when your attorneys come in, and in Westville, the attorneys weren't even able to like communicate with him openly because they're filming him.
And to me, that bothers me. I still don't understand how that's legally being done. When you sit down with your attorney for any reason whatsoever, you're supposed to have that privacy. That's your right. They're taking that away. Therefore, the attorney can't say certain things to him because they're watching and listening for fear of you know, that privacy being taken away, or that those things being put out there. And that's crazy, folks. This man has no. Richard Allen at this point in this scenario could have zero peace of mind right now. None. So imagine that, sitting there feeling like you have no support from your family that you typically would. Your attorneys cannot communicate with you correctly and efficiently. So you're all by yourself in a segregated area where nobody can actually see what's going on that needs to be. Anything can be happening to you. And nobody's going to believe you if you blurt it out there. You know? This is insane, you guys. The treatment level, this is beyond inhumane. I'm sorry.
It's not how it's supposed to be, people. Like, I'm not going to sit here and scream and rant and rave. It's just not how it's supposed to be. And if you can't see that, then you need to look at yourself in the mirror and question your own humanity, because it's inhumane. And I don't know if Rick Allen's innocent or guilty, because I haven't heard all the evidence. The thing needs to go to trial. I think that he's innocent. Like, you know, I'm not shy about saying that. I am firmly in the innocent camp. I do not believe he's the guy for a multitude of reasons, starting with that PCA and then ending with what we saw in the memo in terms of what they don't have in terms of evidence. You know, and people are like, oh, well, you know, they solve crimes all the time without DNA and fingerprints and, you know, nothing on his electronics linking him to the girls or the crime scene. Do they? I mean, they can. They don't do it all the time. And when you've got a PCA like that, you're going to need more, you know. And the other thing that I base my
absolutely,
and again, like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not a defense attorney. I'm not going to pretend I'm not a defense bar guy. I'm not going to pretend that I haven't tried cases like this. I'm not going to pretend that I haven't represented people that I truly believed were innocent, and that I know what that looks and feels like in terms of representing that person. And I'm just telling you that everything that I've seen from Baldwin and Rosie have all the earmarks of two lawyers that completely and totally, based on their evaluation of the evidence, completely believe that they have the wrong guy in prison. And they're doing everything in their power to make sure that an innocent man does not go to prison on their watch.
Exactly. What, give me one other good reason. One, just one, that a set of attorneys like these two would go out of their way to push to be left on this case to the point where they're saying that they don't even want paid for this. Okay. They've excluded, they went as far as to exclude themselves from as being public defenders, and went in to say that they would work as private attorneys pro bono for this guy. That's a lot, you guys. That is a lot for an attorney to do. They have to see something that would make them want to do that. I'm sorry, but any attorney that's a public defender, if they even remotely thought that this guy was guilty, would have just said, fine, whatever, and moved on to their next case. These two aren't doing this. They've been fighting to get put on back on this case. They didn't want it removed in the first place. They had attorneys to defend them against that. And at this point, still want to represent Richard Allen because they're seeing something like this is what, that's why I believe it so strongly, because I've watched Bob say this time and time again. It's insane. Yeah. Oh, I saw that, Todd. I definitely saw that. That's why I said I need to look into that part of that too. It's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating.
Because once somebody is convicted, it's done. Like getting them out is like literally moving mountains to try to get a new trial. Now, the one exception here is if Scoyne ends up keeping Baldwin and Rosie off, I think it's an automatic redo. I think they're automatically going to get a Sixth Amendment bang by the appellate court, and I think they're going to have to try the case again. I think it's like this is not a continuity argument anymore. These were not.
I'm trying to get to the other point there where he was talking about.
And Sleuthy posted them on Twitter yesterday. It's like solid gold. You know, it's like from the depositions of Liggett and Holman, the Indiana State cop, talking about the depositions where Rosie and Baldwin are asking them, so you don't have DNA, right? You don't have any proof whatsoever that Rick Allen had any contact with the girls on any of his electronic devices. Correct. You don't have any fingerprints, including on the unspent casing. Correct. It's like they have no evidence of Rick Allen, which then brings you to the place like, is this just a crime of opportunity? Like that is.
Okay. And I'm going to show you something else tonight, guys, that caught my attention. Now, I don't know. Listen, when I show you this, this is the basis of a theory that somebody has put together. Okay. And again, Bob, thank you for all your words of wisdom, my friend. Please, guys, if you don't, go check him out when you can. Bob is great. I love Bob. And I trust nobody more than I trust him out here when it comes to this case, period. I'm just telling you. There's something else that I picked up on. Somebody that had watched our channel. It was another creator, and they made a statement. So I went and checked out their stuff, just based on theory. Okay? Their theory. I was curious. I want to see what other people have to say about this. I told you guys that time and time again. I love listening to your guys' opinions. Thank you, Sherry. There's Bob's link again, guys. Anytime you have the time, go check it out. You will not be disappointed, especially on this case. I'm telling you, but he covers everything he covers is awesome. So, now this here was very interesting to me. Again, this is a theory that these people have, in my opinion. They're very strong about it. Okay. And this is based on this is another channel that came in, watched what I had to say, left a statement, a comment based on this. Okay. And I'm only showing you guys this because it is just another opinion, another theory. And it does make you wonder. It made me think. Okay. I'm not saying that this is fact, because this is not based on fact, you guys. I'm giving you that right now. This is a pure speculative theory, in my opinion, at least, that I just wanted to give you guys the option to see. Okay. The other channel is called Image Analysis and Detection. They do the work, folks. They put together some stuff, and they take the time to do this. It was very, very interesting. Very interesting to me. He's right, and you're right. They want to work pro bono for Allen. This case is so unjust. Surely, or I pray something will give the truth. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Vicky. Highly agree with you on that one. But again, guys, this channel here is called Image Analysis and Detection. Okay. Let me see here. I believe it's a newer channel. I hadn't seen it before. So, and of course, I'll always go and watch anybody else. Always. You know, I respect any other creator that takes the time and the effort to put the work in to do something like this. And this kind of blew me away a little bit. I was a little bit taken aback by this. I'll be honest with you guys. It really was. So I'm going to show you this here. And of course, you guys, link to this Again, image analysis and detection. Go check them out. It's up to what you think. You know, you make your own decision. This video alone is the one that I was most interested in. They have more. This one caught my attention, and I'm not saying that this is what it is. I'm just saying it was interesting to me, thinking about the way that they found this. Thank you very much, Sherry. As always, awesome, Miss Sherry. You're so good at this stuff, and quick too. That was quick. Thank you for that. And there's the link for them, guys. They did this all themselves. Make sure that you show the respect due, and I'm giving it as well. Absolutely, Doodle. Thank you guys all for being so kind and caring with each other. I appreciate that more than you know. All right. Excuse me. Are you going to bed, Doodle? Are you out? Yes, you are. All right, Doodle. Yeah, I'm going to be done with this once I show you guys this too. So it's getting late. But I will be here at the normal time tomorrow, guys. And you can count on that much. All right. Let me know how the audio on this is. Night, Doodle. Love you. I will tell you guys, the one thing about this that caught my attention was based on Bridge Guy's height. Okay. Richard Allen's height. Now, they did measurements on this and all that. That's how they got these numbers. And I took that into account. Richard Allen is, from what I understand, between 5'4" and 5'6". Okay. The measurements that were calculated based on the other side of this was that the Bridge Guy was between over 6 foot, possibly between 6 foot, 6'2" and 6'3". What's the difference, folks? So that is what caught my attention with this. The height difference. Okay. That's a big difference. I'm not saying that who they're saying it is who it is. It's a fact, folks. All I'm saying is I don't know if you guys are getting this, okay? Just to show you guys what this is stating. This channel is claiming that they believe that Bridge Guy is Ron Logan, based on these little pieces of info that they're pulling apart here. What they've done, okay? I'm not going to say that that's what I think, but I definitely don't think that it's Richard Allen. But this is very interesting to me. Very interesting the way they did this. Tell you one thing I don't see is I don't see this. I don't see this when I see Bridge Guy. It very well could, CL. You know what I mean? They took a lot of time and broke this down and looked at this, you know, and I got to give them props on that. They put the work in, folks. Absolutely. And it's something I was showing because it's interesting to me, because I've doubted the whole time that this was him. I personally have never thought that the Bridge Guy was Richard Allen. That's just me. And he very well could be, but I'm just telling you. I want you guys to see different options on this, okay? Now, this is what got my attention on this, okay? You see that there, the fact that Richard Allen's height, based on the height of what Bridge Guy is, that's a good difference there, guys. Like I said, it doesn't mean that means that Ron Logan is the guy on the bridge. It just means that it's even more of a reason for me to believe that Allen is not the guy on the bridge. Okay, the height difference, and we get to see tonight says that it looks more like Logan than Allen. And I mean, I can't say that personally, but it definitely don't look like Richard Allen to me. And then the height thing, he would drop out. What I would, and again, when I listen to the voice comparison, Richard or the voice thing is hard, folks. It's a male voice, of course, and it's kind of got that gruff sound to it, but it's hard to put those together like that. I've had people in here say that they heard Ron Logan say down the hill, and it didn't sound anything like it. Okay, and I can agree with that. Like I said, somehow or another, I don't believe that they just went random and said, okay, it's him. There's a reason why, but I struggle. I really struggle hard with saying. That's true too. Okay, hold on. I'll get the other part here. And this says, just if you guys can't see it, we also believe that in cleaning up the audio and not having a base reference to work with, Ellie gave us a distorted audio that slightly changed the recorded voice of our POI, person of interest, which has made it difficult for others to recognize the person of interest's voice. And I can agree with that. I wish we'd have got the full clip, I'll tell you that much. Change tempo without changing pitch.
That turned out a disaster like this.
This is, again, it goes back to the height difference with me. The same thing again. That's just showing his gait. Yeah, I can agree on that. The only struggle that I have is that I believe he's had that mustache forever, and his hair is just Santa Claus white, okay? Ellie doesn't know yet how valuable this image or our work is yet. Looking at just consistently created 3D image of PG, here is a partial view. Ron Logan's alibi is proven false, and he was on or near his property during the time of the murders. Our work says that he's Bridge Guy. Logan asked, relative to create a fake alibi. Cell tower data tracked Ron Logan's phone to the area of the crime scene and history of physically violent relationships. That's true, that last comment for sure. And all of these things fit, guys. They do. Okay. They really do. Like I said again, I'm not saying that I wholeheartedly agree that this guy is Bridge Guy, but I really do feel that it's not Richard Allen, in my opinion. Thank you, Pisces. We'll check that here in a minute here. And like I said, guys, the height differences, that really got me. That really grabbed my attention a lot. They're saying that they broke this down and that pin that's on his hat fits into that picture somewhere. You just don't know, folks. Once again, it's just one more thing to see. Let's see. It's really the most part of what I wanted to see. To get a clearer, more detailed image, Bridge Guy, we look at pixels, right? Right, Vicky, right. I absolutely agree, Vicky. And of course, Ron Logan is now deceased. So, that just pulled that out of the picture. There is what my thing is. The big deal. The height difference there and of what Bridge Guy is based on what Richard Allen's height is. So that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna make you go through this whole thing here, but I wanted you guys to see some of that and know the height difference there. You know what I mean? That's definitely something to remember, and just keep in the back of your mind when we're looking at this. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah, thank you, Pisces. I got your email, and yeah, we definitely talked about this guy too. The guy that was arrested, Mitchell Wisterman. We definitely talked about that, but thank you very much for that, Pisces. I do appreciate it very much. So, all right, guys. I think that is going to be it for today because it's late. I'm tired. Long day. But like I said, I will be here. I'm sure, Leslie, that it has been shared. I'm sure it has. Annie says the girl with the boyfriend, his dad lived at the landowner's home at one time, knew each other. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that you guys are in this. Oh, okay. Thank you, Pisces. Let me check that one too. I'm definitely glad that you guys are involved in this case. And that's what I want is I want your guys' attention on this. It needs it. Richard Allen photo, Delphi man and wife sat near sketch of possible killer. Oh yeah, I saw that before. I did see this before. It was interesting to me. If I can make this bigger. I think I have it blown up. If you look at this picture, okay, this is his house. They were in the house, okay. If you look in the background, I remember seeing this picture in the background next to the door there. That, see the sketch on the wall behind him? That was the sketch. Richard Allen, who is being held in connection with the high-profile Delphi murders, appeared in a photo just last year with his wife, and there is a police sketch of the possible killer behind him. His wife, Kathy Allen, shared the photo via her Facebook page to the page of a local bar and grill. A probable cause affidavit in the case was unsealed on November 29th of 22, and it says that police knew since 2017 that Allen admitted being at the bridge that day. They also have ballistics match and eyewitness accounts. The ballistic match doesn't count to me, I'm sorry. And the eyewitnesses have also stated other things. Okay? The two girls, we know, in a news conference on October 31st, police revealed that Richard Allen is being held on 2 counts of murder in the girls' deaths. Allen is a pharmacy tech and father. In fact, in another chilling photo, his own daughter posed on the same bridge where the girls were murdered. That picture is also on his wife's Facebook page. Right there. That would be his daughter on that same bridge. But it's the photo with the police sketch that is getting a lot of attention online. It was of a person police wanted to investigate as a possible killer. And do you really think if this guy did this, that he would have that hanging on his wall? Think about the psychological aspect of that. MIA. What's up, dear? Big difference in height. Absolutely, Vicky. That's my biggest thing with that whole thing I just showed you. That's why I showed you, because of that. And it just, this has bothered me for a long time, but that really bothered me. Thank you for that, Pisces. That was very interesting. I remember seeing that a long time ago, though. And I just completely forgot about it. So like I said, guys, I will be here tomorrow at the right time. Okay, so tune in then. And before that, I hope you guys have an amazing night. Get some good sleep. And have good dreams, guys. Don't forget to love yourselves, to love each other. Right, exactly, Vic. Listen, if I was going to do something that was at a bar, I think. No, she sent the picture to the bar, I thought. Either way. You know, why would the guy be caught in a picture knowing that picture's on the wall behind him anywhere? That's just my thought on it. Either way. I hope you guys are all here tomorrow and then some. Hope you guys have, like I said, an amazing night. Love yourselves, love each other, and don't change anything about yourselves because you guys are the beautiful people. I love you so very much. Have a great night, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye now.